Yeah! Woo!
It's happening.
I woke up with epilepsy.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Yeah, no, listen. I actually am juiced up this morning.
That's
I came
incredible.
I kicked in the door and Ben's like, how do you have so much energy? What's wrong with you? And the answer is, I don't know.
It's not like you got any fuel in your system.
No. We've been cutting back pretty. Okay, so weigh-ins this morning. Did everybody weigh in?
Down 3 pounds from yesterday.
Yeah. So what are you officially at weight-wise?
254.6.
Wow, golly. I feel like I'm never going to get
By
there.
the way, I'm close to 10 pounds.
Okay, I am at 286. That means 15 pounds since Sunday.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Did you drop 3 pounds yesterday, too?
I dropped 3 more
Why
pounds.
I only dropped like a pound yesterday.
Dude, it's like the amazing vanishing man.
Wait, so you started, when we started this whole thing, at 308.
Well, yeah,
No.
that was from 2 weeks ago, though. Yeah.
No, I know, but you started this when we were doing
3066.
when Next Level Fit Guys stuff started.
Yeah,
you were
306.
306.
Yeah.
And you are what now?
286.9 this morning.
Dude, that's incredible.
Well, thank you. I'm honestly feeling better because of the amount of water we're drinking. I think I realize now on the other side of starting to drink more water that I probably was criminally underhydrating myself for a very long time. And so like, I'm sure the blood in my veins was like, well, we're just mud. That's what we are. So we're going to move slow.
At the end of the night, do you guys have a little beer belly of water? That's what I've been having.
No, I've been trying to suck down as much water as possible until like 6 o'clock at night, because otherwise I'm up every single hour basically trying to pee. Yeah.
Rich and I
successfully peeing, I should say.
Rich and I talked about this yesterday, and I'm like, that's a good idea. And like last night, it's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I'm thirsty. I would put water in my mouth and swish it around and spit it out. I'm like, I cannot get up every 20 minutes again.
I can't afford another bad night's sleep, so I'm just going to take a mouth rinse like a boxer so I don't throw up in the ring.
I don't know how to say this without sounding like a jerk, but is that an old people thing?
I don't know. I literally except last night. I think I only peed twice last night.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was literally up every half an hour.
I never, ever get up in the middle of the night to pee.
Wow. Okay. So two things. Yes, it's an old person thing. Two, I think what Travis and I are going through is the fact that because you didn't drink a whole lot of water before.
Like none.
Okay. Since I retired from the NFL, I don't know if I've drank a glass of water. So that's been a big change. That's been a big change with this new thing that we're doing this week, starting on Sunday. Ben and Travis and myself, we have all collectively decided to go in a new direction with the weight loss stuff, and it is flying off. In fact, coming up probably next week.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely next week. We're going to be able to talk about exactly what we're doing with our listeners, but it's working. Just know that.
But in the middle of the night when I had to get up to pee, it wasn't like, I got to pee. It was like, if I don't move this second, we are changing these sheets.
So, so what's happening with us is, all of a sudden our body's like, no, it's too much water. And it's just like, let's get rid of all the, with old people though, or I shouldn't even say old people because 50 ain't old anymore. I remember growing up looking at a 50-year-old and being like, gosh, Father Time has done a lot to you. Tom Cruise is 50-something.
He's 60-something.
I mean,
hold on now. Look at open up TikTok and look at a 50-year-old, 60-year-old woman.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the grandmas when we were kids.
No.
It's because they eat babies.
Yeah. There's
what it is.
Maybe some of that. And but there's a new term out there. It's called GILF.
Heyo.
Yeah.
I know all about that.
Potato.
Yeah. Ben is into it.
How do you think he got the Tacoma? GrannyZone.com. He found a willing elderly lady.
Look at him on the board, just switching subjects.
Well, NFL Week 2 begins tonight. But we can squeeze Gilfs into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Zach Wilson's mom. She's a gilf.
Let's do the deep dive.
By the way, who broke my chair?
I don't know. Okay, so
yesterday it was upside down for a while. That might have done it.
Okay, maybe. but I looked underneath it. It's missing screws.
We're getting blamed for a lot around here.
Mhm.
We're getting somebody actually mentioned that maybe some of the equipment in here is getting ruined from Bar Car Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bar Car Friday existed before the equipment did.
yeah, exactly. A, B, we have everything filmed now. We are live every single day on YouTube. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. You can find us there. Subscribe. We'd love if you did. So if there's any equipment being ruined, you'll be able to see it on camera. People who listen to this show, so go back and look for yourself.
Yeah, in fact, we were blamed for a something being broken, and then it turns out it wasn't broken.
Yeah, right. Very suspicious.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. We're gonna drop some bows on some folks around here. Yeah, but anyways, that music. Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Let me finish what I was trying to tell you. As you get older, your prostate grows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as that happens,
Yee.
it actually affects like your bladder in some way where you gotta go. Like, so I think the threshold is 50. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners who listen to us every morning who are in their 50s. They will chime in on the text line like, yeah, man, I'm up every 2 hours. I remember one time asking my dad all these questions about what to look forward to as you age and you're a man. It's a rough road ahead, boys.
Yeah.
It's a rough road ahead.
It always starts with sucks getting old.
Yeah. You think you got problems now? Just wait. Looking forward to it, Pops. Anyways, play the music back.
Yeah, get us back. Get us back.
Yeah,
Here we
Thursday night football. We got the Vikings, the Eagles,
You better have your Amazon Prime account ready to roll.
and you're not going to be able to watch it unless you're streaming or sitting at a bar that does.
You know what's funny? I learned this on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe this morning. I guess a lot of Whole Foods now, especially in LA, have bars in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a little cafe thing, but they serve. I want to say it's maybe beer and wine. I feel like maybe it's only wine.
So apparently they've been making a big push in LA, which is where all those guys are from, for Thursday night football. And like saying, if you don't have Amazon Prime, just come to us. We got you covered.
So Whole Foods?
Wait,
Yeah.
Whole Food? Really?
Could you imagine watching a football game at a Whole Foods?
No,
Actually,
I can't.
Okay, hang on a second. Hang on a second.
No,
Hang on a
I
second.
can't even imagine going into Whole Foods.
Dude, this is brilliant.
Why?
All right, hang on a second. Whole Foods, if you're listening, if your marketing person is listening, you're a genius. Can you imagine the number of men who look at their wives on Thursday night football and say, honey, I'm sorry, football's on. They go, no, because yesterday was something else and you're not watching football. But if you say, honey, I'm going to go grocery shopping for the week. And you leave for 3 hours, you go, look, there was a huge line at the butcher shop. The butcher counter was just and if you want fresh fish, you got to wait for a shipment to come in and hit the ice.
Hang on. I also just thought of, like the soup and
The
hot bar
Yeah.
at Whole Foods. That's pretty fun. That's a pretty fun trip right there. Or like Barron's Marketplace.
We can go and get ourselves a slice of pizza from the brick oven. We can get a broccoli cheddar soup. We can get
kombucha.
We can get a little poke bowl, and we can sit down at Whole Foods, all organic, by the way, and we can watch Eagles Vikings in the food court.
What's a fruit leather?
Also, by the way, imagine how terrified all of the very posh 60-year-old women who are like wearing their pearls with
We fit Gilfs back into it.
with like a black turtleneck, and they're wearing their pearls over the top of the sweater, and all of a sudden you hear, yeah, that's my quarterback.
Can we pregame in the Whole Foods parking lot?
Yeah. You got people tailgating. Well, it's great because the bacon cheeseburgers, I can get them right from the butcher counter. They're right there. So if we need to refill the grill,
There's literally an unlimited supply of those mushrooms. Just keep filling that tank.
Whole Foods is just so expensive.
it's true.
Every single thing in there.
Okay.
What isn't expensive at this point?
Yeah, but like Whole Foods is gone. I don't want to talk crap about them. Whole Foods, love your stuff.
I ran into a butcher actually, and this isn't an ad for Whole Foods, but I ran into a butcher who works at Whole Foods. And he explained a lot of, I don't want to go into all the specifics, but a lot of where they source their animals from. It like the meats are good there.
I understand there's
Yeah.
a reason for it to be more expensive. And it's all very organic, very like salt of the earth farmers who are making this stuff. But it's just too expensive.
I don't know. I don't think I've been in a Whole Foods in 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
That's our budget, boy.
What?
Yeah. I go there when I'm told to because there's specialty items like where it's like,
oh yeah.
well, it's only available at Whole Foods. I'm like, well, I'm going because if you go, you're going to spend $370. So I'm going to go get the one thing that we need from Whole Foods. And then I'm going to walk out of there. And by the way, Whole Foods, it reminds me of going to a fancy restaurant. Have you ever been in a fancy restaurant or a fancy hotel? Like if these people knew who I actually was, they would kick me the hell out of here.
Right.
Like I do not belong with them. Sometimes at Whole Foods, like I see everybody's like dressed up to go to the grocery store. I'm like, and I'm just sitting there in flip flops and my belly's hanging out of the bottom of an ill-fitting t-shirt that
Not
says
anymore.
Leonard Skinner on it. I'm just like, yeah, I probably don't belong here.
Like it's 1940 and you put on a tie to get on a plane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I told my receptionist I'm having conversations that clear. I'm like, yeah, well, my accountant says the S&P 500. Oh, what's that? Is it my turn in line? Here you go. This is my CMOS gel.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
that's I feel like the last time I was in a Whole Foods or something like that, I would ask, hey, where's like the pasta? And then 5 minutes later, I'd go, yeah, but where's just like the regular pasta?
You do like 8 laps.
Yeah.
You're like, so you guys have egg yolk protein pasta. You have something called Banza chickpea pasta. Do you guys make it with like actual wheat flour?
Like just normal pasta.
You guys got a Renzoni that I could walk away with? Anyways.
Speaking of dollars and cents, the line on this game has moved like substantially since yesterday. So it opened at 3.5 in favor of the Eagles. It's now all the way to 6 in favor of the Eagles. So does that mean a ton of money came in on the Eagles minus 3.5?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it would push that way.
No doubt. So yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, whether it's a ton of public money, and by the way, a lot of the square bettors are going to jump on at the last minute on the side they want because they realize, oh my God, it's Thursday. And by square, I mean like the average Joe going to a window or opening up their gaming app. They're reminded because they see a promo on ESPN or on whatever sports website they go to, or they get a notification about the injury report of the game coming up, and they go, "Oh, I got to put my bet in."
Or they hear Big Rich tell you to set your lineup for tonight on long ball, or not long ball. Sorry, underdog.
You could do that while you're enjoying a long ball.
True. New transfusions.
Yeah, man, it's a thing. So I bet you it's public money pouring in on the Eagles. But every once in a while, like what we saw with the Browns line shifting from Cincinnati being favored on the road to the Browns being favored at home, all of a sudden, hours before kickoff, we've never seen that much line movement in a very long time, at least, if not ever, where the Browns became favorites in the game at home. And then they went out and beat the dog out of the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow had a terrible day. So it felt like sharp money. It felt like all of a sudden somebody knew something, and it worked out because the Browns won.
I hate this line tonight. There's no way I could pick. If I was putting actual money down, like we'll make a pick on this show, but 6 points to the Eagles, there's no way I could pick on that because I do think the Eagles win this game. I don't think it's a blowout by any means. Neither of these teams was all that impressive in week 1. I think they're both going to be a lot better here in week 2, and it's going to be who made the better adjustments. Now, I honestly don't know who that's going to be because I can imagine a game where Kirk Cousins takes that week 1 performance, which was super disappointing, and then he turns around and goes for 350 and 3 touchdowns.
Nah, I don't feel like Kirk Cousins is the guy that's always the turnaround revenge game. That's not Kirk Cousins to me. Kirk Cousins is, I mean, I will come out and play my best. That's what I feel like. And a lot of times it's great, but then there's other times that's week 1. To me, I feel like Eagles are going to have the bigger turnaround here. I see him winning by a touchdown. I'd take it. I take the bet.
Here's my curiosity is how do you slow down this Eagles offense, right? The Patriots, they did a really nice job, and had their offense been slightly better, maybe they get that victory. Really rainy day in Foxborough. Should be better weather tonight in Philadelphia. You look at the Minnesota Vikings defense and you say, yeah, I mean, are they going to be able to do what the Patriots did?
They have nothing.
And so that's what it comes down to me is the Vikings have to find a way, because the Philadelphia Eagles offense is going to get they're going to get their points against that defense. So can the Vikings offense match pace with Jalen Hurts and that Philadelphia Eagles offense? Because I don't really see the Vikings defense slowing down the Eagles offense the same way New England did.
Neither do I, but the Vikings do have pieces on offense, and that offense is high-powered. I think that what we saw in week 1 was probably not what it's going to be the rest of the way. Between Jordan Addison, who's the rookie they drafted to play wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, who for my money is probably the best wide receiver in football right now, and then the backfield where they have Alexander Mattison leading it, he was ineffective as hell in week 1. Like, he was averaging something under 2 yards a carry. They're going to be better tonight. That's just the only way I see it, because Kevin O'Connell will make sure that this team is better. 3 key Eagles players missing tonight. Running back Kenneth Gainwell, which probably opens a window for Rashad Penny to return.
Yeah, he was a game day inactive last week. Coach's decision, not an injury.
Right. James Bradbury, who's the cornerback. He was the guy in the Super Bowl last year, or maybe the NFC champion, the Super Bowl, who had a bad penalty against him that allowed the Chiefs to score. And then safety Reed Blankenship. They've all been ruled out of this home opener against the Vikings.
So I was blanking on who the Minnesota Vikings defensive coordinator is now. It's Brian Flores, who used to work in New England under Bill Belichick. And so if there's anybody who can employ the same strategy you just saw the New England Patriots employ, it's going to be Brian Flores. So maybe I'll correct myself a little bit here. And also, after reading up on this yesterday, one of the reasons why the Vikings at times were successful against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks offense, ultimately lost the game, was because they blitzed the absolute dog out of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they sent 19 blitzes. They were able to pressure or sack Baker twice and put pressure on him 9 times. So that's good. That's a great effort. But Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts are different guys. So, and this is a different offense. Like, the Eagles will get horizontal on you. Like, Baker, I think, because of his height and some of his intangibles, like, he can't do what Jalen Hurts can do. So if you start pressuring, they're going to start running their short pass game, and it'll be more successful with Jalen Hurts in the pocket.
I love football.
I do too.
Yeah, I love football.
It's a good day. It's a really good day.
It's a great day.
It's a bad day for Aaron Rodgers, though.
Well, it's been a bad couple days for Aaron Rodgers. But he speaks.
He does, yes.
Well, he
does.
writes.
He writes. He speaks.
And he will rise again.
Okay, was I the only one that thought that was super douchey?
Come
on, that quote at the end, what was it? The dawn, or the night is darkest right before the dawn, and I shall rise yet again. Who the hell are you, Lord of the Rings?
He's Batman.
I do think he is Batman. Yeah. I do think he's Christian Bale in Christopher Nolan's portrayal of Batman.
No, I think he's Christian Bale in Psycho.
Okay. Or American Psycho.
Yeah.
Wow. I am not on the Aaron Rodgers hate train. Not anymore. Yeah. They have turned the narrative around for me, where I used to think, God, this guy is just an evil human being. And now I'm like, he's human.
Travis, picture this. You have a friend, okay? Let's say...
It's going to be hard for me.
I know it's tough. But you have a buddy who you go out for beers with every once in a while.
Okay.
And over the last 13 years or so, this buddy is started to say some things where you're like, huh?
13 years. Man, this is a stretch.
Okay, and then...
I have a friend for 13
And
years?
then this week, he says... You know what, Travis? I've just really been thinking a lot about home life, and like, things aren't going well. In fact, I hurt myself, and I'm going to be out of work for a little bit. But you know what? The night is always darkest before the storm, and I shall rise yet again.
I would laugh at that. I would definitely laugh at that. However, I also would think, Aaron Rodgers is a character. He's a character. Yeah. So he's got an image to portray. He believes in that image, and that's fine. I think everybody kind of has that. Aaron Rodgers is just gigantic because it's Aaron freaking Rodgers.
Yeah, a little bit of like, actually, it's funny that you compared it to Batman, because Travis, he is a little bit of a superhero. And frankly, football players, I remember that was something I had to get over when I joined the NFL, when I was drafted, was these aren't television characters. These are people with like families and kids and problems and parents, and the same way you get a phone call from your mom saying, now why did you do that on national television? I saw you roughing up that Miami Dolphins player. You got your hand right in his face. Now that's not nice. Like, well, that's what offensive linemen do, Mom.
They need to do that.
Yeah, but these people are people, and so having that realization or revelation, it knocks down that concept like, oh no, these aren't superheroes, they're people. But for most, the way you view Aaron Rodgers, the way Jets fans were viewing Aaron Rodgers, like, our savior. Look at it. He's not even going into the water. He's literally walking on top of the water. And somebody went, that's a puddle in the parking lot.
No, Dodger Stadium's flooded.
I think there were sharks in there.
The night is darkest before the dawn
Douche.
is a term from the Batman movies, maybe all of them. And I Shall Rise Yet Again, to me, is a reference to The Dark Knight Rises. So,
I love this so much. Please let that be
break that down.
the career arc where now that he's moved to New York, which has the nickname Gotham, he hurts his Achilles. He comes back as a vigilante crime fighting mass superhero.
When he talks, it's real guttural. You could barely understand it. Who are you looking for?
Where have you put the Bengals? What? I don't even. Why are you waking me up? It's 3:00 in the morning. Are you Aaron Rodgers? No.
At the end of his Instagram quote, proud of my guys, 1-0. There's a jet, and then a hashtag.
A jet and a hashtag. Oh, hashtag heart.
Oh, there was a heart after it.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe I don't really.
Let me look at the actual post.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No, there was no hashtag. It was just hashtag.
It's just hashtag.
Oh, weird.
Pound.
Finish your message with pound. This
Exactly.
way it's sent.
Yeah, exactly. If you'd like to send your message, press pound.
So this reignited the NFL PA's fury against the NFL owners. So some changes could be on the come for the NFL. What changes are those? Keep listening. You'll find out on the next episode of Batman.
Some big possible changes coming to the NFL. What are they? We'll talk about them next.
This update is presented by Staples Stores. We'll start off here with the Padres. They take down the Dodgers 6-1 last night. Blake Snell continues to dominate the league. As the season winds down, Snell making a push to win his second career Cy Young Award. In his last 20 starts, he has a 1.31 ERA, averaging more than 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's the first time in MLB history that's happened in a 20-game span. NFL Week 2 begins tonight. Vikings heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The line has moved. Eagles now favored by a full 6 points after the line opened at 3.5. This game will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime Video starting at 5:15. Also in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers posted to Instagram yesterday saying he was heartbroken, and he also said, quote, "I shall rise yet again." It would appear the future Hall of Famer will try to make a return after missing this season with the ruptured Achilles. $10 says your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. Now, when you return an Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next Staples purchase of $30 or more. In-store only, exclusions apply. Staples, your new favorite place for Amazon returns.
Big Rich Sheedy and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760. And starting on Monday, September 18th, when you listen on your free iHeartRadio app, you unlock your shot at taking home a part of music history. Open the free iHeartRadio app to win exclusive prizes signed by some of this year's legendary performers at our iconic 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival. No one connects artists and fans like iHeartRadio. Download the iHeartRadio app today and get ready for the biggest weekend in music. iHeartRadio, free, never sounded so good.
So the NFL, as a result, is now being harangued by players all over the place, former players as well. I was one of them, actually, that complained on Monday night about the incident with Aaron Rodgers, because MetLife Stadium, not specifically because of Aaron Rodgers' injury, but just over the years has claimed so many knees and ankles and Achilles and feet that I just can't stand watching anymore. Like, how many ACL tears have we seen at MetLife?
So someone on Reddit went through and found all the MetLife ACLs and Achilles over the last few years. I'll just start reading. You tell me when to stop. The point will be clear. 2023, Aaron Rodgers, Achilles. 2022, Kyle Fuller, ACL tear. 2022, Darian Beavers, ACL tear. 2022, Marcus McKeithen, ACL tear. 2022, Sterling Shepard, ACL tear. 2022, Wan'Dale Robinson, ACL tear. 2022, Allen Robinson, ACL tear. 2021, Blake Martinez, ACL tear. 2021, Jabril Peppers, ACL tear. 2021, Shane Lemieux, partial patellar tendon tear. 2021, Rodarius Williams, ACL tear. 2021, TJ Brunson, ACL tear. 2021, Jonathan Harrison, Achilles injury.
You can stop
We're,
there.
yeah,
Okay.
we're at 2021.
Yeah. That was like a 20
And
that
then
you read.
If
Yeah.
you remember in 2020, there was a 49ers game, and you guys can harp on me for this, but Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa both left the same game with ACL tears at MetLife Stadium.
So on turf, the NFL Players Association found that there's a 32% higher rate of non-contact knee injuries.
Yep.
69% higher rate of foot ankle injuries.
Right. So there's a problem, right? There's a problem. And I remember the NFL came out with some lame statistic about how some of these stadiums use this cross-thatched grass turf, artificial surface that actually is way too grippy. And now we're going to get away from that. We're going to go to a more natural feeling turf, and MetLife just switched out their turf. They put in a brand new carpet of turf because they said the old one's no good. So we're going to fix this for the players. And boom, you have an Achilles right off of the bat in week 1.
Now, Dr. Chow told us on the show, what was that, Tuesday, that he thought it would have happened whether this was grass or turf because of the way Leonard Floyd fell on Aaron Rodgers' leg. But there are a lot of times that you see, especially on turf, I feel like it's more often than it's turf than not, that you see guys with no one around them who something just snags, their cleat snags, and then all of a sudden their season's over.
Yeah. And not just snags. I mean, well, that's the problem. It does snag. But you think about grass. When you watch a grass or a real grass game, there are chunks of grass taken out. The ground will give, especially on a wet night in New York. That ground would be soft. So when his foot would dig in, he might have a little divot there. There may have been some give there where his foot wouldn't have been pulled that direction.
And I also think a lot of people forget that underneath sod, there is some loose soil and sediment, and there is this opportunity for your foot to sink pretty deeply. Now, with field turf, after a while, it gets compacted, like all those rubber pellets and whatever filler they use for the turf, it all gets compacted down. And so there is no further deeper that your toe can get dug into there. So if you have downward force, like you were talking about with Leonard Floyd bearing down on Aaron Rodgers, there is no downward give that the turf or the field surface can give you if it's turf, whereas grass would. So I'm not saying that it wouldn't have happened on grass. That injury could have happened and may probably have happened on grass. And I trust Dr. Chow. He's an expert. And I don't know if I'm specifically speaking about Aaron Rodgers' Achilles when I'm talking about the argument against field turf, but it just reignited it. And so as a matter of fact, the NFLPA has officially told the NFL that all surfaces need to switch to grass now. This was in a statement immediately following this game. And so this comes down to two things. One, NFL owners' interest in doing this, and money. It's going to cost you. Why do you think a lot of these fields have turf? It's because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to maintain. Yeah, there's an upfront cost, but you don't have to hire as many people to maintain it.
Right.
You don't have to water it, spend money on water, which is a lot of money to spend on water over the years. You don't have to worry about outside conditions that are outside your control. You bring in concerts and they lay platforms on the thing. You don't have to worry about fixing it as much as field turf's a lot easier in those situations. What happens if all of a sudden you have a horrible, drought, or you have a situation, well, you water the field, but you get my drift. Like, it's a lot harder to maintain a natural surface.
And I think it's a lot cheaper, like significantly, like probably in the millions. Otherwise, NFL owners wouldn't do it, right? But they're all businessmen. They understand what's going on.
Also, the painting of that field on the turf, you do it one time.
Yeah.
I mean, a grass one, you cut it.
But what I would say, like, a lot of
It's
people
more
talk
expensive.
about just regulations with water in certain areas of the country. And what I would say, Arizona plays on a turf or a grass field, right? Las Vegas plays on a grass field, and they have the thing where they wheel it all the way out every single time. So you're talking about two of the hottest regions that NFL football is played in, and they're figuring out grass fields.
It's
New York, figure your S out.
here's two problems for the owners, and I'm not taking the owner's side. I agree with the players. I want to see natural grass or natural field surfaces. I want to see grass in all of these 32 stadiums. But here's it from the owner's side. Okay, so our city wants the Super Bowl, right? Like, you all chipped in with your tax dollars to buy this stadium in the first place, which is absolutely nonsense in the first place, but whatever. That's how it works in the NFL with these stadium builds. So we want a Super Bowl here, right, gang? Well, the only way we're going to be able to do it is if we build a dome. And the only way that we're going to be able to have a dome is if we have an artificial surface, unless we want to build something that costs $250 million or maybe $250 million to $500 million to have UV lights that we can drop down from the rafters and actually give the natural light or the artificial light that the grass needs to grow. Almost like one of those grow houses out in the valley.
Right.
You know,
right.
Now
What
they're
happens
making
there, Rich?
marijuana. They're growing some different kind of grass, but
I mean, is that the number? It's $250 to $500 million to have UV lights?
I think it's so expensive that it's like I think it's only in like 2 stadiums in the world.
Wow. I would have thought that would have been cheaper. I would have thought that would have been far cheaper than building a movable field like they did out in Las Vegas.
But the problem is, like, if you're building a stadium, which they did recently, like US Bank in Minnesota, it doesn't matter in February. Like, you can move that field outside. All that grass is getting killed with the cold.
Right.
You know, so you need indoor lighting. You need to find a way to create either a greenhouse effect, I guess, or B, use artificial light to get it to grow. So these owners are looking at it in 2 ways. They're like, yeah, like, we want a Super Bowl in our city, and we also need to turn a profit. And so if there is nothing that the NFLPA and the players are willing to give back to us, and we don't feel like our bottom line is getting hit hard enough with some of these injuries, then we're not going to do it. That's how the owners feel about it.
Well,
How could you have a Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL?
Well, I mean, Patrick Mahomes,
something like that ends up stopping this debate.
Or Aaron Rodgers rupturing his Achilles 4 snaps into one of the most hyped seasons of all time for the New York Jets, one of the more powerful organizations in the league.
Again, I mean, if this happened on grass turf, which it probably would have with that hit, you're not talking about this.
Well, yeah, the only reason why this is ignited is because it happened on turf. If it happened on grass, everybody would be like, troubling situation, freak accident though.
Yeah.
But now, because it happened at MetLife, which has a history.
Exactly. It's one of those things where you connect all the dots. And I don't know about you guys. I mean, Travis, did the thought come to you immediately like, oh, of course, MetLife's turf?
I mean, no, not immediately, because of the hit. If he was just walking down the field, like happens a lot, and all of a sudden they fall to the ground, wait, what? Yeah. How did that happen? Oh, a cleat got stuck in the turf. I would much rather it be grass. I'm all about it.
Was the first thing you thought, Fletch?
It was maybe the second thing, but it was because of the association I have with the Niners in that day. I believe it was week 1 also when the Niners had literally Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas within like 7 plays of each other tear ACLs at MetLife.
Yeah. As a Niners fan, I could see that. For me, I guess it's just because, like, MetLife has just been a house of horrors for ACLs and Achilles and ankles and knees. I mean, in general, it's just been such a high incidence rate of injury that it was one of the first things I thought of. And, it's not about the Aaron Rodgers injury. It's about what's best for the league, best for the players, best for people's fantasy teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about underdog fantasy. I very easily, and I probably would have, if I placed one of my pick'em, I would have had Aaron Rodgers on that pick'em. And so immediately, by the way, the stats would have been high. I would have taken the higher. Like, it's just how it works. Like, people want to place wagers or they want to play fantasy with their favorite players. If a bunch of them, and by the way, they're starters, so they're going to be on the field the most. And if a bunch of them go away for the season with injury due to the field surface, that has to be fixed.
Did you go an entire NFL career without tearing an Achilles or rupturing an Achilles or tearing an ACL?
Yeah, my ACL is never tore.
Damn, dude.
My Achilles never tore.
You're a freaking unicorn.
Complete rupture of my MCL. I actually partially tore those numbers of times, but a lot of times it was because somebody's body got dumped on the back of my legs, and like all of a sudden you could feel like your knees start tearing as you're going down, and you're just like, don't go all the way, don't go all the way, don't go all the way. And then like your knee hits the ground and you fall over. You're like, oh, thank God. And then you just put on a knee brace and you play through it.
Yeah, getting rolled up on seems like the worst for offensive line.
It's so bad. Sometimes it's funny though. Like sometimes like somebody will, I can't tell you how many times somebody has either socked me in the gut or I've landed on somebody and you just hear a loud fart. Like someone's like, oh, you're just like, sorry about that. I'm positive, and I won't embarrass him, but I'm positive a Rams defensive lineman who I was playing against absolutely soiled himself.
Aaron Donald, you loser.
We fell on top of each other. Dude, we were face mask to face mask, like chest protector to chest protector, wiener to wiener, like lying, and we were about the same size. So we were like, he was lying directly on top of me. And then all of a sudden, the rest of like there was a pylon. I think there was a loose ball. So the rest of the two, offensive, defensive units were on top of us, and the weight was weighing us down so much. All of a sudden, he goes, "Oh no!" And then he didn't even address the fart. He just goes, "Oh, dicks are touching."
Are you allowed to say that?
It's 6:30. Gus on YouTube said, "My fantasy team is more important than saving water. Rich is right. Change my mind."
Wait, what's that?
Gus said, "My fantasy team is more important than saving water. Rich is right. Save my mind."
Yeah, dude. I there's a lot of people who ended up with Aaron Rodgers, Travis, on their fantasy football team.
Didn't you end up with him on 2 of them?
Yeah, I got him on 2 teams.
It's not going well.
One of them, though, he's my backup.
Tell me you didn't pair him like with Garrett Wilson.
No, I didn't actually.
Good.
Yeah, no, I oddly didn't start Aaron Rodgers in either game.
Wow.
Yeah,
you got very lucky.
Oh wait, no, I did. No, I'm sorry. One team I did. I did.
Speaking of problems in the NFL, there are problems in the NBA that may be coming to the NFL pretty soon here. We'll get into that next. Everybody's favorite athlete needs to get some rest, but not on game day. Could that be coming for the NFL? We'll discuss next. Lot to look forward to coming up next hour. We got Mustache You a Question on a Thursday here, and that's going to be for a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld. Yeah, we're gonna send you to SeaWorld for Hollow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego with every twist and turn, death-defying drop, all new special effects, and more scares in 4 terror-filled houses. We'll give you something to scream about. Yeah, there's even more dark magic lurking around every corner with electrifying and mesmerizing live entertainment. The screamiest event of the season is now at SeaWorld San Diego. Hollow Scream starting September 29th through October 31st. That's Halloween. On select nights only. For information, visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com. Okay. So we have those tickets.
You did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
That's such a read. That is a thick boy right there.
Yeah.
But we got through it.
Speaking of thick boys, it's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on a Thursday. If you want to listen to us, free iHeartRadio app, YouTube at Big Rich TD Fletch, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Big Rich TD Fletch or X now. It's lots of good stuff going up, especially about our skinny bodies.
Yeah.
No longer thick boys.
Yeah, we're starting to lose ourselves. Yeah, that's how that looks. But also, odd timing. We also got a delivery from Joe's Kansas City Barbecue.
Oh, smack.
Gosh.
That came in the mail yesterday. A full cooler filled with burn ends, brisket,
Ribs.
Travis, that is the best guest you've ever booked.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Eric Tata, who's marketing manager out there with Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. I've been there when I went out and played the Chiefs, and really, really good eats. And I thought only available in Kansas City. I was wrong because he said, nope, we ship all over the country. As a matter of fact, we're going to send you guys a little something. I was figuring maybe a bottle of barbecue sauce. We literally got a gigantic care package, each of us sent to our doors.
Yeah.
So
joeskc.com if you want to order some and have it shipped to your door.
Unbelievable is right.
Yeah, I mean, their barbecue sauce was in there, by the way.
It was.
And then the Z-Man kit, you can make, it comes with enough to make 8 pulled sandwiches.
I'm looking most forward to the burn ends. I had those
same.
at the original Joe's with the gas station out front, and they were phenomenal. So big thanks to Joe's and our listener today, on Mustache, you a question. Look, I'm just saying this. We're going to take down your address. That's all I'm saying.
What?
I'm just saying.
We're
going to take down your home address.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how that, and you know what? And then we're going to show up at your door.
That's right.
We're going to probably just beat you up.
Some burn-ins with you.
Can you imagine if we started just going to listeners' houses? Well, we got your information. We figured we'd just stop by and say hello.
I feel like that's fine.
Anyways,
I'd be cool with it.
Here's the reality of the situation. We have the NFL that is obviously the top of the heap in terms of entertainment and viewership and all those things. And I think it's because they've really had a perfect setup. You've got enough games that all the stars want to play, super competitive. The playoffs there's so few teams that make the playoffs still, even with an expanded playoff bracket with 14 teams now, that the regular season is important and special.
Every single game matters in the regular season, which is the polar opposite of NBA basketball, which doesn't matter till Christmas, and Major League Baseball, which, unless you're the San Diego Padres, doesn't matter till the All-Star break.
Yeah. And it's a snooze to watch a lot of these regular season games unless all the stars are playing and the games are meaningful, which in baseball, sometimes they really never are. Like if you're a Dodgers fan, they got off to a pretty damn good start and they're cruising to the finish. Now, yeah, it might be fun to see them against rivals and things like that, but overall, you were never in fear of them missing out on the postseason. Okay, so NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said the players' participation policy is something that the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association and individual players on all teams want to return to that principle that this is an 82-game league. So what they're going to do and what they're going to enforce is fine teams more than $1 million for each incidence of violating resting rules. These resting rules are going to be, I guess, a little bit more easy to penalize. Like if it's very clear that players are resting instead of being injured. What are your thoughts, first of all, about the NBA trying to fix this way?
Load management sucks. Do something to fix it. This is a good start.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a nice showing here of a good start. I don't think this fixes it. I think that now the teams just get a little more clever on how they show an injury. I mean, that's what it's going to be. Look, just lessen the number of games, make the games more important, make them more impactful, and then you don't have this problem.
You're 100% right. That is the fix. And to ask you guys the next question, the NFL may expand their season to 18 games here pretty soon. Do you think that incurs the same thing that's happened to the NBA? Do you think as a result we'll see NFL players resting games and sitting out starts that they could actually be a part of?
Only what we already see and what we saw on a 16-game schedule, which was if you already have the playoffs in hand, if your seed can't be improved in the postseason, if home field advantage is already yours, then you rest people. Only when you're locked in. And that's fine because that's at the end of the year. You know what I mean? Like, and we've been seeing that ever since ever. Because teams always rest in like week 16, week 15, week 14. If the Kansas City Chiefs have the 1 seed locked up and home field advantage all the way through the playoffs, they're not going to play Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but the problem with that is the NFL is making a lot of money from fantasy football. And if you have more games with more people sitting out, that's going to impact these fantasy games, these fantasy weeks. And if that shortens the fantasy week window, that's going to hurt the NFL. But I do think that making it an 18-game season, that might lengthen the time that other teams have an opportunity to make the playoffs. So you might actually stretch it out. The thing where I'm concerned with is it is hard on these players for 17 games. Yeah. I mean, it is hard. So if you're adding another game that is meaningful, what you might see is week 1, people are taking the week off.
Yeah. And look, I mean, if you are a fantasy football owner, if you're a fan of a team, all you want to see is these players on the field instead of them, with their feet up on the couch, resting at home. Speaking of feet, I want to talk to you about the Good Feet store. They have arch supports that can really improve your life. They have numerous benefits. You hear me talk about the pain relief all the time. For me specifically, after a playing career in the NFL, bad back, bad knees, it's really helped me. But you could have better balance. You could have better performance in whatever you do, injury prevention and recovery. These Good Feet arch supports, they are personalized to you. Their free fittings and test walks are awesome. You walk in there and 20 minutes later, you could walk out with a personalized arch support for your feet. So go to the Good Feet store. They're precision fit to your personal needs, lifestyle, profession, and footwear. They have 200 locations all across the U.S. and overseas, 30 years of experience. Go to goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or visit a Good Feet store near you. Coming up next, we got Mustache you a question for SeaWorld tickets. And also, the Padres did something that they should have done earlier in the season. We'll get to it on the other side. Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
Hour number 2, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. This update presented by Macy's Backstage. We'll begin with the Padres, who get a win over the Dodgers last night, and they take the series over the Dodgers. That's the first time that's happened in a while. Blake Snell continues to dominate the league as the season winds down. Snell making a hard push to win his second career Cy Young Award in his last 20 starts, 1.31 ERA, averaging more than 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, making him the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history to do so in a 20-game span. NFL Week 2 begins tonight. Vikings head to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. That line has moved. Eagles now favored by a full 6 points after the line opened at 3.5. This game will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime Video beginning at 5:15. Also in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers posted to his Instagram yesterday and said, quote, "I shall rise yet again." It would appear that the future Hall of Famer will try to make a return after missing his season with the ruptured Achilles. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. And the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Yeah! Woo! Happy Thursday to those who celebrate. It's a thirsty Thursday for some out there. Maybe you got some plans after work, hitting up a bar or a restaurant or a Whole Foods, watching some Thursday night football with the boys, with the gals, with the peeps, right? We got a little Eagles. We got a little Vikings action today. We'll get into that a little bit more later. Also, must ask you a question for SeaWorld tickets coming up.
So much happening.
But gentlemen, the Padres, they beat the Dodgers in a series in LA. And so I ask you this question, why now?
Oh, no. I mean, we kind of called it, though, right? I mean, it's almost like the pressure's off and now they can just play. I really don't know. I mean, it shouldn't happen. And it does.
In fact, they're hurting themselves. Like, they're going to get a worse draft pick because of this late season success. Darnay had a stat last night, Darnay Tripp, and I'll pull it up. But Blake Snell made history. He's the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history in the span of 20 games to have an ERA lower than a certain number. His ERA over the last 20 is 1.31, which is absurd, by the way, and average more than 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's the first person in MLB history to do that over a span of 20 games.
Yep. Another scoreless 6 with 1 hit allowed. He was phenomenal last night. And I'm also very pleased with the Padres that they are taking him off the mound after 6 innings. That they're not and I don't know if it's Blake being okay with it or maybe his own suggestion, or maybe it's organizationally for the Padres. They're like, look, we're going to thank you for your service. We're going to preserve you. You're chasing a big contract here. But they're getting him in. He's getting a qualified start and he's getting out of the game. And that's exactly what you should do with him. The problem I have with what's happening here is all the things that we thought the Padres could or should do to start this season are starting to happen in more frequency toward the end of the season. They're not making the playoffs. If they do, it's on a complete lark. Like, a couple of teams may have to forfeit for them to make the postseason at this point.
Right.
But the point is, to Ben's discussion about the draft picks, this isn't good if you're a fan of the organization. Like, if you want them to improve over time and build a strong farm system, you want them to have a high draft pick. That's first of all. Second of all, it angers me in some ways as a fan, just strictly from a fan standpoint, that they're looking this good down the stretch of the season. Like, you almost would rather them not spiral completely out of control and have infighting in the clubhouse, but you'd rather have this season sort of screech to a very dull halt and then start rebuilding in the offseason.
Well, you want justification for your feelings. So you want to be able to understand and go, oh, you know what? I mean, this is who they've been all season long. I mean, I get it, but you had such high hopes. Those were crushed. And then now at the end, when it doesn't matter, I mean, nothing's going to happen at this point, except you're going to hurt yourself in the draft. You start to win and you go, wait, this is the team that I wanted to see all season long. And now it's here. Why?
I'll tell you something else that's happening that some Padre fans, the thought process has to be going through right now. And I think I'm in the same boat as them. if this season had completely bottomed out and this was a disaster and you finished below 6 or 7 teams to make the wild card, that might force Peter Seidler to make some changes at the general manager position. And now that there's this resurgence, does that potentially save AJ Preller's job?
Which happened at the trade deadline. I mean, there was a spike, there was a little bit of life, there was hope that was brought to us, and it was maybe false hope. And what turns out it probably will be false hope that happened right before the trade deadline, and that caused the powers that be just to push all the chips in the middle of the table, which I was on board for. I wanted to see as well.
Fletch, brilliant point. And Travis, that is exactly the emotion that I think a lot of us are feeling. It's a good feeling when the team you root for, they double down their efforts. They're looking to get better. They're looking to make the run. But I mean, Fletch, you said it at the trade deadline and you were consistent, and a lot of people were against you in it, that you felt like at that point they should trade Soto if they could find a suitor.
No, not
they should
Soto.
trade a Hader.
I said Snell and Hader.
Oh, Snell and Hader. Okay. Snell and Hader, you said they should trade because
No.
you're like, look, I mean, get some value for them with expiring contracts. And a lot of people disagreed with you. I was one of them. I was like, no, I like the idea of them pushing all the chips into the middle of the table because let's ride the wave of a little bit of this momentum they created on one side of the trade deadline. But it turned out to go so disastrously wrong. 2020 hindsight says, yeah, you probably shouldn't have Snell or Hader on your team, and you should have some, I don't know, farm hands as a result.
Now, selfishly, it's kind of fun watching Blake Snell run for another Cy Young award in a San Diego Padres uniform, but that's just going to feel like such a hollow award. So, yeah, I would rather have prospects. I would rather have people who could affect the team next year in a big way, because most likely, now there's a chance Peter Seidler goes cuckoo and does re-sign Blake Snell. He's going to be the most expensive starting pitcher on the market this offseason. Most likely, you're not going to have either Snell or Hader on the team, and you have nothing to show for it. In fact, you have a disaster of a season to show for it.
See, Fletch, and to Rich's point as well, this is where you are thinking with your head, where there's two trains of thought. You have thinking with your head, thinking with your heart. And thinking with your head, you're going, okay, well, how do we look towards 2024 and put the best team together possible? And then the other school of thought is, no, I just want to see him win.
Yeah.
I want to see him win. And with Snell still here, it holds on to that hope of he will be here again next season.
I don't see it.
It's probably not going to happen.
It's going to be so expensive. He's going to be able to go out and get whatever contract he wants. And I know he likes San Diego. He's been quoted saying he would love to figure out a way to return here. But just doing the math, it doesn't look like it'll happen.
Yeah. Look, this is the way I feel about all of it. I don't put anything past Peter Seidler. I think that we could all be shocked to hear that Blake Snell all of a sudden signs a 6-7 year contract for some absurd amount of money. And we're all just left scratching our head in shock and awe about the commitment from Peter Seidler and this ownership group, because they've done so much. They've spent so much money. But there's a part of me that also feels like it's a little bit of blind trust still. You've seen some results during a shortened pandemic season with Jace Tingler as your manager. The Padres fought their way into relevance. And then you saw last season, kind of almost fluky, what happened toward the end of the season, needed a little help to get into the wild card berth. But once they got into the postseason, man, beating the Mets and then beating the Dodgers in the NLDS, that was some special time. So you look at it and you say, is that enough proof that you sign Blake Snell for a huge amount of money? Is that enough proof that you go out there and you try to work a deal with Juan Soto? Or is he gone? Like, you know, I'm almost at the point where I'm like, hey, Peter, you've done enough. Like, lay down the pen for a few seconds, take a beat, maybe pump the brakes, and let's make a big decision on the direction of this organization. I'm not saying blow it all up, but is AJ Preller the right guy for the future of this franchise?
I don't think so. But what AJ Preller is really good at is the international market of finding prospects where people don't necessarily see prospects. Like, he was able to bring Ha-Seong Kim over. Ha-Seong Kim didn't have a great start in Major League Baseball. Ha-Seong Kim looks like a steal now. Like, every Major League Baseball team would want him. Let AJ Preller do what he's good at, which is not signing big players, which is not signing massive contracts in free agency. That's not where AJ Preller is good. You could just look at the past. Eric Hosmer, Manny Machado, I would say for years, he has performed right up to that $30 million man. And then there's years like this year, which happens pretty much every other year, where he doesn't. AJ Preller is really good at finding the unexpected. Fernando Tatis Jr., great example. He's not great at figuring out the well-knowns. So I don't know if I want Preller to go out and sign massive deals. I don't know if I want Seidler to go out and find massive deals. I want Preller to go back to what he's good at, which is finding young guys.
Yeah, I mean, the problem I have is they have tried a lot of things. They've tried to bring in big name players. They've tried to go find no name players that they turn into great players. And I mean, there's been a number of different attempts to create a winning ball team here, and it hasn't happened yet. There's not been a World Series. The thing that has not changed is that AJ Preller is there. And, you know, there's been a lot of managers come in. There's been a lot of different looks here. AJ Preller's been here of the losing seasons, of the seasons that the few that are fun, but they still didn't bring home the World Series. So if you're looking to make a change, unfortunately for AJ Preller or Peter Seidler, or even, I mean, the Padres organization, you would have to look at AJ Preller.
Yeah. That's the one common denominator, Travis. This whole time has been AJ Preller. There's been a lot of losing since he's been the general manager, and there have been some inexplicable meltdowns at times throughout his tenure. And I do mean inexplicable. There are analysts right now who are scratching their heads, who are looking at the numbers preseason versus the numbers that appeared in the regular season. There's also this bizarre run differential. If you look at all of the teams right now who are on the outside looking in the playoff bracket, there's only one team with a positive run differential, and it's by leaps and bounds they beat all the rest.
And by the way, there's two teams who have wild card spots who have a -23, -35 run differential. The Padres are +60.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It doesn't make sense. Something doesn't compute here.
It's absolutely bizarre what's happened. What's not bizarre is in a bunch of minutes here, actually a couple now, we're going to be giving away Hollow Scream tickets, a family 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego. So be listening for that. But I want to switch gears to the NFL because we've got some news and updates on the New York Jets quarterback situation. That's right. So the Jets, obviously, without their starter, Aaron Rodgers goes down with the Achilles injury. Zach Wilson gets thrust into action. The Jets get the win over the Bills on Monday night.
And I like the way you say thrust.
Thank you. And it appears
pound you on the low tones.
Oh, yeah. Those headphones, those cans, they'll pound you on the low tones. Thank you, Eddie McCoven. Moving on from that. Yeah, so Zach Wilson looks to be the trusted starter for now. But we know how this goes. He has a stinker, and then all of a sudden things can change. But among the available quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Colin Kaepernick are not going to be considered by the New York Jets.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
You know, I don't know if they called Colin Kaepernick. I bet they tried to call Brady, and he just didn't pick up.
Yeah, the 46-year-old quarterback who retired for the second time this past offseason was honored by the rival Patriots on Sunday, but those close to him told Deanna Rossini of The Athletic that he has no plans on playing again for New York. Even if Brady were interested, he'd potentially be forced to sell his new ownership stake in the Raiders if he intended to suit up for another team.
I got a couple names for you.
Yeah.
One of them is pretty popular right now, Carson Wentz. I did this after the show yesterday. Travis and I were actually talking about this, and we were talking about Carson Wentz. And I said, look at Carson Wentz's stats with the Colts, because he was actually a pretty good quarterback with the Colts.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a great locker room guy. I think that there's been a lot of reports now from his time with the Eagles, from his time with the Colts, from his time with the Commanders, that he's not necessarily the best leader, but he's a good quarterback. And so if Zach Wilson can maybe, if he keeps winning, it's his job. But if Carson Wentz is an option, go after him. The second option, Zach Wilson keeps the team at or above 500. And then when Kyler Murray's healthy, trade for him. The Cardinals are tanking. They need a quarterback who can move. Kyler Murray can move a lot. If you can bring him in, that offensive line's not great. We saw Dwayne Brown get Aaron Rodgers hurt. Get Kyler Murray in there to use those weapons and be able to move the pocket.
Yeah, and I know that Phillip Rivers, the name's being tossed around. I don't know if it's of any seriousness. I mean, he is expecting his 10th child, so that's there's some life changes happening.
I don't think Phil would do it because of the offensive line.
Well, I think he would want to wait. Like, this is Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, any retired quarterback coming back into the league to quarterback a team. I think they would wait. Like last season, you can make an argument when Trey Lance went down, like, ooh, what about Phillip Rivers? He's available. But Jimmy Garoppolo knows the system, went in there, won them a bunch of games. He goes down. People are like, ooh, what about Phillip Rivers? It's closer to the end of the season. But even then, I think I posed the argument then because it got brought up. I was like, yeah, but does he want to play 6 regular season games? Like, it would have to be like a perfectly curtailed situation where it was almost like, yeah, we've got 2 games left. We lost our starting quarterback.
Already in the playoffs. Like, come on in and help us try to win this Super Bowl. What do you think? Can you do it one more time, Captain? Can you do it? And then maybe he would be like, hey, Tiff, I mean, I know you're pregnant, but gosh, golly, they need me out there in New York. I mean, then he's on the next thing smoking, leaving Alabama.
Yeah, maybe.
How about Colin Kaepernick?
Not happening.
Okay.
How long has he been out of this league?
Yeah, that's where my hang up is.
Has it been 8 years, 9 years?
It's been a long time. I don't remember what at this point what his last season was. Was it 2016, 2017? Is that how long it's been? I can't remember. I think it's been that long. I mean, we're talking about at least 6 years.
2016.
Okay. 7.
So if he's sending his tape in to the Jets, I mean, what's he look like, Uncle Rico out there? Gonna throw over these mountains.
Yeah, this is the report. It says the Jets are also out on former 49ers starter Colin Kaepernick, who had reportedly reached out via his agent in the wake of Rodgers' injury. Kaepernick has long been eyeing a comeback, but hasn't played an NFL game in 7 years, and he is not on New York's radar per Josiah Anderson, as the Jets' goal is to add a QB who knows Wilson is the guy and his familiarity with the Stafford system. Okay, so basically they want somebody who's willing to come in, hold a clipboard, help out Zach Wilson, make him as good as he possibly can be while filling in for Rodgers.
If that's the case, it's Matt Ryan.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
Maybe like a Colt McCoy.
But if you want someone to teach, I mean, like Matt Ryan feels like that would be the option. Colt McCoy, I don't know really what he could teach Zach Wilson.
Oh no, Colt's a smart
I know
guy.
Colt's a really smart guy, but I'm talking about game experience. Like how much meaningful football has Colt really played?
Jeremy Fowler from ESPN. These 4 names we already mentioned: Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, Matt Ryan, Nick Foles.
Flacco, I could see them potentially bring him back into the fold because he was in that locker room last year. He knows the team, knows the staff. He may be a slightly unfamiliar with Nathaniel Hackett's system per se, but
which apparently is uber complex and complicated. And that's why when Zach Wilson came down, it was such a dumbed down offense because they couldn't run the script that they had for Aaron Rodgers.
And also remember this, and things get the more complicated, or I should say the more an offensive coordinator and a quarterback work together, the more complicated things get because you can add wrinkles everywhere and it just builds on top of builds on top of builds. And then, like there's a little bit of a drain brain at quarterback when you go to Zach Wilson. So you do have to make things more vanilla.
Last season with the Broncos, they had to make animal noises when they were calling out the plays. So it blows my mind. Yeah, seriously. So how the hell is Nathaniel Hackett looked at as a genius again?
No one's saying genius. I said complicated.
I'm not okay.
And it's because Rodgers and him have worked together so much, like Rich said.
Fletch, I didn't mean you. Rich. Okay, break.
Is that Chewy?
Oh yeah, I guess he's not an animal.
I'm just saying. Not just you, Fletch or Rich. I'm just saying that when you watch anything on TV now, I mean, pick a network. Saying Nathaniel Hackett's a genius. Last year, he was ripped to pieces.
He was. He certainly was. But again, a lot of really, really good offensive coordinators have made really crummy head coaches.
Oh, yeah.
Just look at, if you want credence to that argument, look at Josh McDaniels' record as a head coach.
Yeah. Who was also a Bronco head coach once.
Want to know this year.
Yeah.
Raiders, baby. They are the leading team in the AFC West right now.
Hey. And by the way, they beat the Broncos. Yeah. Just salt in the wound.
Yeah. It's cool.
Oh.
It's fun.
Oh my gosh. All right. We got to get some callers lined up. 844-570-1360. 844-570-1360. If you want to play Mustache You a Question for SeaWorld tickets, a family 4-pack for Hollow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego, call in right now. 844-570-1360. And before we scram, I want to talk to you about the San Diego County Toyota dealers. I talked about this yesterday, but I want to recap this story. We bought a 4Runner because my wife gets car sick in any other car we've ever been in except for the 4Runner. I don't know why. It might be witchcraft. It may be something with her internally, but it works. Okay, we rented a Toyota 4Runner when we were on an East Coast trip. We were in the car for hours and hours and hours, driving everywhere. I really liked it. It was spacious. Car seats fit in the back really well. We had to travel with an infant at the time. So it was a really difficult trip, made a lot easier by the Toyota 4Runner. And then along our travel, I realized, you're not yelling at me. What's going on here? Why are you in such a good mood? She wasn't car sick. So we came back home. Within weeks, I had a major breakdown with the car I was driving. I went out and bought a Toyota 4Runner. And honestly, it's been one of the best purchases we've made. It's been the most reliable automobile we've ever owned. So if you're driving around today and you're thinking about your next car, truck, or SUV purchase, let me make it easy for you because Toyota makes it easy for you. Head out to a local San Diego County Toyota dealer. They have great deals on super reliable vehicles, and their customer service was incredible. I mean, I walked on the lot and I drove away in a new car within hours. So if you're looking for a deal, head to toyota.com. New vehicles are arriving daily at your San Diego County Toyota dealers. They're available right now, including the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. Coming today, Toyota, we make it easy. Coming up next, Mustache You a Question for SeaWorld tickets.
Coming up next, we must ask you a question for your chance to win SeaWorld tickets. Keep listening. This update is presented by the Jim Betrell Real Estate Team. We will begin here with the NFL. Week 2 begins tonight. Vikings heading to Philadelphia. They're taking on the Eagles. Eagles now favored by a full 6 points after the line opened at 3.5. This game will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime starting at 5:15. Padres take down the Dodgers last night 6-1. Blake Snell continues to just dominate everybody he faces. Last 20 starts for Blake Snell, 1.31 ERA, averaging more than 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. Would you like to know what your home would sell for today? Get a simple text message with your home's value by texting your address to 855-600-6000. You'll get no phone call, just a text. Jim Betrell has the buyer. Simply text your address to 855-600-6000.
Big Rich, Sheedy, and Fletch of San Diego Sports 760, and you can join us in the San Diego Blood Bank and saving lives by donating blood at the iHeartRadio Blood Drive. It's happening tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our studios located at 9660 Granite Ridge Drive. Your donation can help patients with cancer, severe burns, trauma, childbirth complications, and a whole lot more. And just a single donation could save up to 3 lives. All types are needed. All donors get a pair of free admission to the Del Mar Racetrack Fall Meet or the Fleet Science Center while supplies last. You can make an appointment at san diego bloodbank.org. It is Thursday. We have some SeaWorld Hallis Cream tickets. Let's do this.
Hairy upper lip or nah? It's up to you to determine. If you want the prize, you have to play the game. It's time. We must ask you a question.
That's right. It's a game show that's sweeping the nation. We hear we're huge in Kansas City, Missouri.
Funny. I was just thinking the same thing.
Waiting on the phone line patiently, our listener contestant Kevin joining the show. First and foremost, Kevin, how are you doing this morning?
I am fantastic.
Right on.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Do you like barbecue?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
I literally, on Labor Day, did a 22-hour brisket smoke.
Oh, my goodness. A 22-hour brisket
It's going to be a good day for you,
it was
maybe.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
We also have the Hall Scream tickets. Those are available right now at SeaWorldSanDiego.com. But you could win a family 4-pack here, Kevin, if you just do this correctly. All you got to do in this game show, must ask you a question, is answer 3 of 5 correctly, whether or not the person speaking in a clip you're going to hear has a mustache or not.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
You got the rules, Kev?
I got it.
All right, let's rock and roll. Clip number 1, Ben.
We're on the 15th hole. He's beating me by a couple of strokes. Then he's about to hit his second shot when he picks up the ball and cleans it. Sorry. But the rules clearly state that you cannot clean the ball unless it's on the green. The rules are very clear about that. Yeah, so I penalized him a stroke. He lost it. We almost came to blows. We're like face to face, like a manager and an umpire. You know, we're like, hey, we're not talking about it. I don't think what you say.
Wait, is that really a rule? You can't pick up the ball and clean it?
Not
Yeah.
in the fairway
Yeah.
or the rough, only on the green.
Yeah, it can't even be on that like shortcut grass around the green, like the fringe. It
Yeah, I
has
knew
to be on the green.
I definitely knew that.
Putting surface.
Yeah, I definitely knew that.
Yeah, but listen, one thing I know about Travis on the golf course, cleaning his balls all the time. Kevin,
I can't stop.
Kevin, we've got to ask you this question though. Does the person speaking in that clip have a mustache or not?
Man, I'm having to throw a guess out on the first one. I haven't heard that before. I'm going to go with no mustache.
Wow.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Cosmo Kramer, no mustache.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Famous for not having facial hair.
Right. That's what he's known for. You are up 1-0. You get 2 more. You're going to win those SeaWorld tickets, Kevin. Here is clip number 2.
What'd you say? Oh, you're talking to me all wrong. It's the wrong tone. You do it again, I'll stab you in the face with a soldering iron. Is that right? Let me ask you something. Eh? Does your mother sew? Boom! Get her to sew that.
Wow. Some anger there. Kevin. But we mustache you this question. Does that voice have a mustache?
I mean, clearly that is the iconic Christopher Walken. I'm trying to remember what movie that's from. I think it's from Joe Dirt, and I don't think he had a mustache in Joe Dirt.
Look at you, Kevin. Wow.
That's amazing.
This is pro-level mustachio question.
Okay, so a guess to start it with Kramer nailed the Christopher Walken. So, Kevin, you may be walking to a 3-0 victory here if you get this next clip right.
Brian, let me handle this.
Pretty good.
What was that, Kevin?
What'd you say, Kev?
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, that feels pretty good.
I love Kevin.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's the best.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Here's clip number 3 for you, man.
Brian, let me handle this. Scusi, babida boopy, speaking Italian. Babida boopy, babida boopida babida babida, boopity bapa, bopa beepy bopa bapa beepy bapa.
That was Italian for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that he's fluent, whoever that is. So Kevin, I don't know if you could see through the accent and see through obviously the fluency, but can you tell us if the person speaking has a mustache or not?
So you're trying to trip me up there because it's Peter Griffin from Family Guy, who normally doesn't have a mustache, but he's speaking Italian fluently there because he grew a mustache.
I think we have a winner.
Unbelievable. Holy smokes. I mean, literally, this guy's a professional, and he just won himself a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld's Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. It's happening starting September 29th through October 31st on select nights. For more information, go to SeaWorldSanDiego.com. But Kevin, you are going courtesy of Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. Congrats, buddy.
Dude.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, we are pumped for you. Wait on the line. Wait. Oh,
Whoa,
do you want to talk
hang
to
on,
Kevin?
hang on.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you see that episode of Family Guy, or did you just deduce that information?
No, Oh, of course I've seen that episode of Family.
Okay.
Okay.
All
There you
right.
have it.
You're a genius.
I was gonna say,
Golly.
yeah,
All right. Hang
but-
on the line, Kevin. We'll get your information as well as your address. That's
Uh-huh.
part of it.
No big.
Yeah. Stop shaking your head no, Fletch.
It's so good.
It's
good
fine.
for you.
Yeah.
It makes
What?
the people come alive.
Okay, this one's on me. Somehow. I said no 20 times.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes
it's
no
fine.
means yes. Actually, that's terrible
That's not-
advice.
that's not correct.
That is absolutely
not
terrible
correct.
advice. Do not repeat that to anybody you know.
Listen, that round of Mustache You a Question was impressive.
That was impressive. That was probably the best we've had.
Golly.
Okay, so Kevin's our winner with Mustache You a Question. He's going to SeaWorld. But how about a winner tonight on the Underdog app? Wouldn't that feel good?
That would feel real
Couldn't
good.
we all do that right now?
Ben,
Are you going to go back into the fray with an Underdog pick'em tonight?
Duh.
Yeah. All right. So Underdog Fantasy, for those who don't know, is an awesome fantasy football app. It's super easy to use. It's my favorite fantasy football app to use. What you do is download it right now. Underdog Fantasy is the name of it, or go to underdogfantasy.com, sign up there as well. And when you sign up, use promo code XTRA. Why is that important? Very simple. Because if you deposit up to $100, Underdog Fantasy will double it. Pretty easy way to make $100 is just depositing $100 into Underdog Fantasy, and they will literally double that to $200. If you only have, like, say, $20 to play with, that's fine. They'll double it to 40, 50 turns into 100. You get the point. All the way up to $100. Just use promo code XTRA when you sign up. It's going to be an awesome decision because Underdog Fantasy is an awesome time. Tonight, for example, for Thursday Night Football, you got the Philadelphia Eagles, Minnesota Vikings. You go on to the pick'em. Maybe you select Jalen Hurts is going to have higher this number in terms of his passing yardage. I don't know. Rashad Penny. He's going to rush for this many touchdowns, in my opinion. So I'm going to pick higher the stat line. You could do this up to 5 players, and $5 can turn into 100 because you get the 20 times multiplier. It is so much fun. You got to use it. You got to enjoy it just like we did. And when you do, sign up with promo code XTRA. Your first deposit will be doubled. Okay. Must be 18 plus and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.com. Okay. Coming up next, we all have our fantasies, I would say, right? We all enjoy not only fantasy football, but there's other things maybe we'd like to get involved with.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we found the new thing that the three of us can agree on that we need to get involved with, and you're going to hear about it coming up. So I heard San Diego. We have the benefit here working in this building to be surrounded by very talented people, multi-talented people, including the one, the only Jack Cronin from 600 Kogo News, our sister station over here. Literally, we share a wall in our control rooms. We share a wall. And so we see Jack after our show a lot. He's in early today. And the reason why we asked him to come in is because Jack witnessed, quite frankly, something that I've only ever dreamed of. As a former offensive lineman at the high school, college, and professional level, I've never experienced what Jack witnessed this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Fellas, good morning.
Good morning,
Jack.
Hi, Jack.
I thought about you, Rich, because this is a crazy play. First, we got a D2 school in Colorado Mesa, playing the FCS school, San Diego, USD, the Toreros. And there's just this crazy play early in the game where they're driving the opponent all the way down in, goal line territory, 5-yard line. They try a trick play. It goes horribly wrong, which happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
So they try like a double reverse. It goes wrong. The ball's just flying on the ground, and it's picked up by an offensive lineman. And you're like, okay, well, that's good for them.
And
Great.
by the way, let me jump in here and just say, typically, when an offensive lineman picks up the ball, what they're told is get down. Just get down. Or, I mean, if you're close to the goal line and it's a clean scoop, maybe tuck it with 2 hands and just try to run toward the goal line.
So this kid picks it up. He's a freshman, offensive lineman, picks it up. And you're like, okay, well, at least for them, they've recovered it. So we're not going back the other way. We're not thinking, scoop and score going back for the defense.
Yeah.
The other way. And he picks it up, and he's not really doing anything as he's going toward the sideline, but he's got it, and he's upright. And all of a sudden, he turns and looks, and there's a receiver in the end zone, and he just flips it to him. Like he's Tim Tebow or something on one of those little touch passes.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes was like, oh, here's a little pass.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect pass for a touchdown. You're going, what is happening?
But what's amazing about this is, so you're on play-by-play.
Yes.
This is happening live in front of Jack. And he has such a good understanding of the rules that he knew that this was a touchdown. He knew that everything was completely legal. It was, I mean, okay, this is my level of bandwidth as a football player. I would have no idea that I was actually allowed to do that while I was still playing.
By the way, the offensive lineman probably didn't.
Maybe
Like,
he did.
the offensive lineman probably was like, well, might as well.
I mean, I for sure would have picked that. I know what I would have done because it happened to me one time, Jack. I was at Penn State. Our offense was on the field. My right tackle, I was playing right guard. The tackle who was playing next to me let up a strip sack. And all of a sudden, and I had blocked my guy and dumped him over somewhere. And then I turn around and the ball literally hits my right heel. I'm looking at it. It's on the ground. And life all of a sudden went to super slow-mo. Like as if you're watching a war movie where they're like, go Rich. I reach down, I pick up the ball clean. I remember even looking at Anthony Morelli, our quarterback, who was down on the ground, and he's looking at me cross-eyed because he just got hit so hard. I'm just like, I'm gonna score a touchdown. And I turn and I take 2 of the most athletic steps you'll ever see a football player make and got my knees. This linebacker, who I was convinced I was going to hurdle, hit me so hard in the thigh pad that I think I did a full forward flip and landed on my ass. And I gained 0 yards. It'll never go down in any stat books. But if you go online and you search hard enough, you'll find me carrying a football against the Iowa Hawkeyes. It is a career achievement.
Did you hang on to the ball when you took the hit?
I didn't fumble.
Look at that.
I didn't
Look
fumble.
at that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look at
right
that.
there.
You're welcome,
There it is.
America.
Jack Cronin, what's going on in the news today?
Well, we got, let's see. We are finally,
Aliens?
From Mexico.
I mean, they rolled it out for the entire legislature of the country.
Yeah.
Like, Mexico's not a small country.
Right.
They decided to put it right there front and center in their state house.
Scientists in Congress presenting little baby aliens.
Yeah.
Little
First of all-
baby ancient 2,000-year-old aliens.
When I saw the picture, I thought it was like a full-on Egyptian style, mummy,
right.
human size.
Yeah.
And then I saw a second picture where it was like, oh, it's much smaller than that.
Yeah, it was
Oh, okay.
18 inches.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
It's a mini ET.
Yeah,
Right.
right. I thought it was real size ET at first, and then I was like, oh, so it's like a doll. Okay.
So they were found in Peru. So if they were building some of these pyramids, I mean, they were
Yeah.
doing it with their mind.
But yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure NASA is supposed to have a press conference today.
Yeah. Do we know about
Dude,
anything
mean,
there?
Jack, we need answers.
Well,
Look,
come on.
There's nothing I can really tell you guys. It's classified.
Jack, where are the
tell you.
aliens?
I can't tell you.
Release all the
Can't tell.
documents
Right.
with everything blacked out.
Here it is.
We did it.
How'd the information get out there? Well, it was on a sports radio station in San Diego,
A
and we
new-
let it out. You know,
newsman with deep ties to NASA
Right.
and the NSA. He does have
Right.
high-level security
Right.
clearances we were unaware of, actually. But he is the whistleblower.
That's how it
All of a
goes.
sudden, Jack will be like living in like Wyoming somewhere, like Billings, Wyoming. He's gonna be going by the name like John Carroll. He's gonna have neighbors. Gonna get the paper in his robe every day. It's gonna be like the end of Goodfellas. He's in the witness protection program.
Are you in on aliens, Jack?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
good.
I
Okay,
mean,
good.
Like, it's ridiculous to think that there wouldn't be something else out.
Completely
It could be
agree.
very
Right.
small
Yeah, dude.
thinking if we didn't see something
Yes.
else.
Also, with the James Webb Telescope, we're looking so deep into the universe now that actually we were wrong. We miscalculated how many stars and how many galaxies there are. There are so many more than we ever thought. And by the way, the universe is so much older than we ever thought because now we have more visible light hitting this James Webb, which means that the universe is unfathomably older than we imagined or
Exactly.
originally thought.
Exactly. And that's why it's crazy to think there wouldn't be something else.
Yeah.
Now, it could be something very small on the bacteria level. It could be something crazy advanced, or it could be something that's nothing. It's worthless. Or
Yeah.
it could be something very harmful, like, like some sort of virus, fungus,
Oh, yeah.
bacteria
Oh, yeah.
type
That-
thing.
When
There's
he
all
said very
kinds.
harmful, I immediately went to War of the Worlds.
Well, that
Yeah.
too, right?
Oh,
Yes,
right.
There is
Yeah.
that possibility, but that also is remote, right? Like the most logical thing is that there is something else out there that's probably somewhere in the middle or on the lower end of the scale.
That's
right?
just math, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the logical thing would be that.
And
I mean, I love like these thought experiments so much, like where you think about, okay, so the ocean arguably is just as undefined to us humans as space is.
Yeah,
because
2/3 of the planet. Yeah, absolutely.
and we can't research it because
Yep.
like LiDAR doesn't go deep enough.
And what's the stat? We've only actually seen 2% of the ocean or
Right.
something.
Yeah, it's something like that.
it's a crazy low number. Yeah.
Gosh, like they could
Right.
be here, guys.
Well,
they
they
could be
probably
under
are.
the ocean.
Now, what are the chances NASA today unveils our own little mini ETs? Like, oh, Mexico, you think you're cool? Look at
Zero
us.
way.
0%.
The U.S. government has
0%.
no trust in the
Yeah.
public whatsoever
Yes.
to be able to handle something like
Yeah,
that.
that is
Like,
a
we could all talk-
0% chance.
We could also talk about it and have fun with it. But I'm sure if there has been something here, they will never tell us.
Yeah, if
We'll never tell.
one was in this studio talking with
Right.
us, it would still be denied.
I also I hate that this is where my brain goes because I'm first of all I'm hungry. We've all been trying to lose a little weight on this show. Second of all, like I'm just a savage by nature. I saw those little alien creatures. I'm like, I wonder what they taste like. I mean, almost immediately I was like, whoa, that's crazy. 1,000-year-old aliens have been this way. And then I was like, but with buffalo sauce, like just a little bit of ranch dressing as
You
well.
typical
Right.
white man. We
Yeah.
find a new species and you want to kill it and
Right.
eat it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
When
kill
they
it,
did the,
but
when
if
they
it's
did the-
already dead,
and
it's,
they did the CAT scan, they're like, "There's eggs in here," and you're like, "I mean, like over easy,
Alien caviar, baby.
Pretty good.
Caviar, like, yeah,
egg
yeah.
on toast."
You guys are really having these hunger delusions.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
It's definitely
You're
happening.
early though. I think this is great. You guys look wonderful.
Thank
You
you.
look great.
Feel
You've all
great.
lost weight. You
Yeah.
look amazing.
Our
So,
eyes are sunken back in our
great
heads.
job.
Yeah, but we're
Great
good.
work.
Thank you.
Eagles, Vikings. Who you like?
Boy, I'm gonna go Eagles. I love being asked this question because I'm the world's worst sports better.
Good.
Okay, Eagles are -6.
Okay, I don't know what that means. So great.
they're
That's awesome.
they're favored by 6 points
Okay,
at
great.
home. Yeah, yeah.
Because I am the worst at it. Because I always look at storylines and mostly quarterbacks and
Yeah.
star players and how's this going to what's the storyline for the season and all these things when you should be looking at the individual game, the weather conditions, the injuries, all these things. But I'm like, oh, what's the overall picture? You know,
yeah.
And it does not matter at all for
Yeah.
sports.
It's like, you know
Yeah.
what? I really like green,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
it turns
Yeah,
out.
right.
Yeah,
green,
yeah. Torn Achilles. But how did Aaron Rodgers feel?
Right.
Yeah.
And what's he going to do to his career? Is his career over?
It-
You know, what are
right,
you gonna do?
right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Awesome
absolutely.
stuff. Jack, we appreciate it. You class up this program every time you're on.
Thanks for having me, fellas.
Nicest guy on the planet.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
No
guys.
question. Third year running right now. Nicest guy on the planet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Won
Right.
the award many times.
Yeah.
Aliens
Hey,
might
have
screw
a
you
day
up.
old
though.
donut.
Coming up next, we've got a lot to get to. We have Legoland coming back in studio to talk about our mini landers. Yeah, they've landed at Del Mar Racetrack. We'll explain all that. Also, a Bills reporter caught on a hot mic tells the world something they already knew.
And she's employed by the Bills.
Ooh, juicy. That's next. I gotta pee so bad.
I gotta pee as well.
This update is presented by Macy's Backstage. Starting off with Padres, they take down the Dodgers 6-1 last night. Blake Snell continuing to dominate everybody he faces. As the season winds down, Snell is really making a push to win his second career Cy Young Award. In his last 20 starts, 1.31 ERA, averaging more than 12 Ks per 9 innings, making him the first pitcher in MLB history to do that in a 20-game span. NFL Week 2 gets going tonight. Vikings heading to Philadelphia. They're taking on the Eagles. Eagles are now favored by a full 6 points. That line opened at 3.5 earlier this week. This game will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime Video starting at 5:15. Also in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers posted to Instagram yesterday and said, "I shall rise yet again." It will appear the future Hall of Famer will try to make a return after missing this season with the ruptured Achilles. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for under $25, under like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
Yeah! Woo! Happy Thursday to those who celebrate. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch on an NFL Thursday night football Thursday. Yeah. We're back at it. The NFL is going to portray the Philadelphia Eagles Vikings game.
Tuesday after work, I went home and I was like, what do I do? Yeah.
There's a little
Really want some football right now.
bit of a letdown there.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays NFL season suck.
Yeah. There is a little bit of that feeling of like, can we just eliminate those 2 days and just get to Thursday again? That would
Or,
be great.
Tuesday night football, Wednesday night football. I'm not saying no.
Maybe
My wife would be so happy.
Yeah.
So happy.
You could count on, I promise you, within the next 5 years, one of those 2 days is going to have NFL.
I think so.
I-
Because they saw the success. Like, remember the COVID season when games would get pushed? They would slide one into a Tuesday or a Wednesday. The ratings were massive, and
People-
everyone loved it.
People still watch. That's it. They still watch.
So football season kind of goes hand in hand with other stuff. And last night was the first time in my household I slept with a blanket since summer started because it was chilly last night. We had the windows open, which reminds me, big day coming up next week.
The autumn equinox.
That's right.
It's no longer Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. It's Big Rich, TD, and Fletch.
We're gonna
for a
be-
day.
It's basic rich.
Yeah. We're going to be some basic batches.
That's right.
And we're just going to deck out this studio with fall celebratory colors.
Yep.
And we're going to drink pumpkin spice lattes.
Yep. Oversized blankets.
We're gonna wear we're gonna wear sweaters.
Candles.
So many tiny pumpkins.
Yeah.
There's so many gourds.
There's gonna be books here for decorative purposes only.
Yeah, there's gonna be things like Moby Dick, and honestly, I heard he was like that's.
Maybe we could get a neon sign on the wall that has like a quote, like an inspirational.
Can we
quote.
do that?
Yes.
Like live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Oh my god. How about it was all a dream in neon pink?
Yeah. Or
Isn't that John Schaefer's?
you know what? You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna bring in a bunch of farmhouse signs.
Oh my god, please do.
So many farmhouse.
I'm just gonna buy a large sign that's written on chalkboard, but it's painted on, and it's gonna have like stained white wood, but it's gonna be like a little bit, I don't know, distressed, and it's just gonna say family right there, right behind us.
What about all the signs at like lake houses that you rent an Airbnb and it just says life is better at the lake?
Yeah.
Lucky, but the U is a horseshoe.
Oh,
No shoes, no problem.
Beach, please.
So
I have a koozie that says beach, please.
We are going to go full white women Instagram on the autumnal equinox.
We make fun of this, but this sounds incredible to me.
It really honestly sounds very comforting. I'm
We
sure
could-
the sound of the show is going to be a little different
Are
too.
we allowed to have a fireplace in here?
Oh, we could probably get one.
Okay,
In. Yeah,
all right.
We should
probably
put the like Netflix fireplace on the TV behind
Oh,
us.
yeah. Wow, it's a bar
Genius.
cart Friday though.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Solid
to
point.
come up with something. We'll figure it out.
And we will figure it out. We always do.
The fog machine may have to come back just to represent some low-lying fall fog.
Oh gosh, yeah, the fog machine. I miss it so much. We need to find more uses.
Salad.
And can we have something with feta? I don't know why, but every time my wife says the word feta, it comes out this way. She goes, "Oh my god, feta," and I'm just like, "Why is that? Why is that so?"
Feta's better.
Yeah, I guess it's really.
Weird.
Anyways,
Whenever my wife says my name, it comes out Benna.
It does?
Benna.
Benna.
Well,
Weird.
Yes, that is a little strange.
Yeah,
And why do you think
Benna.
that is?
I don't know. Benna.
I don't know if Sarah says my name that much. Maybe Trav, I
Hey,
guess.
idiot.
Yeah, it's more like, hey.
I don't think. Yeah, she doesn't say my name. Annie doesn't say my name at all. It's usually like, "Hey, where are you?"
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, it always starts with a question, and then I get yelled at for something.
Yeah.
That's basically
Or
it.
I'll get a text because I'm outside. What are you doing? And then I give a rundown of what I'm working on.
Yeah.
You never want to hang out.
Leave me alone. I'm busy making sure every blade of grass is the same length.
I'm usually, if I step outside, it's because I'm doing the things my kids didn't do, picking up dog crap and whatever else I have to do out there.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely a problem making children because they don't do the things you expect them to do, and they don't do the things you want them to do. So what good are they? All right. Moving along.
We love you, Time Bash.
Well, yeah.
Uncle Ben and Uncle
And-
Travis. We're
That's
here
right.
for you.
And soon to be Father Ben.
No.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You go from being
I'm
uncle
gonna be a dog dad.
to dad.
And that is just a gateway drug, my friend.
Oh yeah. Once
Yeah.
she smells that puppy smell, she's gonna be like, I wonder what a baby would smell
Yeah.
like.
Oh, these clothes are all too big for this puppy, but they'd fit a baby.
A big fat Fletcher baby.
We are fat babies.
Wait, okay.
Were you really?
When you have a baby, are you going to get a little number 15 jersey for him?
You know what's so strange about Ben's kid is we've never seen a picture with him facing the camera. It's always him making a jump shot, but from across the court.
It's a 3-month-old baby.
I will once again
catching
reiterate,
a fly ball.
we are not having a baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
But congratulations, anyways,
Yeah.
on the birth of your first child.
Because you're not certain you're not having a baby.
I'm 100% certain right now there is no Fletcher baby in existence.
There is nothing that's certain in life, Ben. Nothing.
Sounds like you need to change up your plan A. Okay, how about that? All right, moving right along to this. There was a Bills reporter who was recorded on a hot mic. So what's interesting about this reporter is, look, everybody knows like the Adam Schefters of the world or the Ian Rappaports. These are the newsbreakers. These are people with no affiliation with teams. Some of them, Ian Rappaport works for the NFL Network. So technically he does have an affiliation. He works on the league side reporting the NFL news. But these newsbreakers and these reporters who are getting stuff from agents, getting stuff from executives or coaches off the record, on the record, and bringing it to the fans of the game, that's the job. Well, there's also other types of reporters. There are types of reporters and writers who work for the in-house production company. And every single one of the 32 teams have them. They write for the website, etc. Well, this reporter who works for the Bills was caught on a hot mic, and this is what she had to say.
There's no control over Stephon Diggs.
So if you missed it, it was really low because she was away from the mics, but this was after a press conference, and the mics picked up her saying nobody has any control over Stephon Diggs. And then somebody was talking to her, and then her voice again comes back and says, yeah, he says whatever he wants. I mean, he'll straight up come to my face and say, F you. He does what he wants.
That's how he treats everybody.
That's how he treats everyone. That's how she finished it. So, yikes.
So she's employed by the Buffalo Bills, which, like, to put it in perspective, it's like AJ Cassavell is employed by the Padres. He writes for MLB.com. This lady is employed by the Buffalo Bills to upload stuff to NFL.com. Now, she has released a lengthy apology and said, I'm the one at fault here, not Stephon Diggs. He's always very generous with his time when we can get him. He always makes himself available.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
backpedaling faster than you can
Yeah.
walk.
How do we put the toothpaste back in the tube?
Yeah, listen, I feel for her. I do, because listen, we work in front of microphones. We've known people who've lost jobs working in front of microphones, saying things in maybe a humorous manner that wouldn't be humorous to the rest of the listeners, or out of context can be, I mean, blown up wildly and made into a thing where it really shouldn't be. And also there are times where something like that, where it's not even something that's defamatory. It's not anything that is derogatory. It's the truth. I mean, because honestly, if that happened to her, if she's had trouble with Stephon Diggs and he's literally walked up to her and said F you to her face before, and that's the way he treats everyone, if that's just the God's honest truth, well, it could still get her fired, but that's unfortunate.
Yeah. But I mean, I do look forward to hearing from her as she works for the New York Jets next week.
Yeah, right.
But no, you're right. I mean, it is unfortunate because guess what? That is the truth. I mean, at least that would be my guess.
Well, that's her. I mean,
yeah, her truth.
That's the truth as she sees it.
That was water cooler talk.
Right.
That was literally her palling around with other journalists in the news conference waiting room while they were waiting for Stephon Diggs to come up to the mic.
Yeah, but did any of us here, Fletch, Rich, do you have any other thoughts about Stephon Diggs before you heard that? Because that was my underlying feeling of this guy is probably not the nicest dude.
He's a diva.
Right.
Look, and I play with these guys. You know, at the
Wide
college
receivers
level,
are divas.
Oh, many of them, and defensive backs too can get on that level as well. I played with many of them through my college career, through my professional career. I played on 3 different teams in my career in the league, and trust me, every locker room had a Stephon Diggs. Every locker room had a guy who was difficult with the team's internal media arm, with the public relations people, difficult with the media themselves. And by the way, when I say every team, it's not just the 32 around Major League Baseball. It's the around the NFL. It's the 30 around Major League Baseball. It's the 30 around the NBA. Every single team has at least one, if not multiple. There's one here in San Diego. And I promise you that we all know who it is.
So here's the quote from, it's Maddie Glab is her name. She covers the Bills for the NFL. This is what she said afterwards. She posted a little screenshot on Twitter. I should not have said what I said, and I apologize for that. Steph is not in the wrong. I am. And that was after like 10 lines of just normal. I'm very sorry for what I said. I apologize, blah, 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 blah. Steph is great with the time and the media and the video department, blah, 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 blah.
Travis, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, because there's many times that I think about you as like, you know, for example, you're the dad working out in the yard and all of a sudden you're like, oh, football's on. I got to get back in the house.
Yeah.
You sit down in your armchair and, you know, you're scrolling through before kickoff, the Bills are on and you're a Bills fan. Like, does this affect the way you root for the team or the player, or does it really have no bearing as long as they win?
No bearing.
Yeah.
No bearing to me at all. But it's because I already felt that way about Stephon Diggs. Like, all this did is solidify my thought.
It wasn't surprising.
Yeah, it didn't blow my mind, other than she's an employee of the Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you go, oh no. Uh-oh. Whoops.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, the Bills hire these people to paint a very Pollyanna picture of what life looks like inside the halls of the Bills training facility and out on the practice fields. And after game days, even in brutal losses like the one they took to the New York Jets, when your quarterback throws it to the same defensive back 3 times and fumbles once, and you're playing against a team without a starting quarterback and you lose, you know, her job she's tasked with making that sound positive. Like, tough loss against the Jets, but a lot of good things too. And let me tell you what they were.
Yeah. And Rich, I'll tell you, the attitude of Stephon Diggs, I kind of want as a receiver. I mean, you kind of are, as any NFL player, you kind of want a guy who, look, you want him to be a nice guy, but at the same time, yeah, you want somebody who goes, no, look, you want to win, give me the ball, I'll make us win.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just kind of expected. It's not like I'm heartbroken over it.
You just reminded me when you said dog. You remind me of that Coastal Carolina football coach who I don't want cats running around meowing into the mirror. I want a bunch of dogs. Hang on, I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna put this link on the rundown. It is one of the funniest damn things
And
I've ever heard.
Stephon Diggs is a dog. Now, if you're a jerk, that doesn't justify it.
No,
like just because you're
no.
great on the field, if you're a jerk off the field, you're still a jerk.
Oh yeah, I agree with that entirely, entirely. But on the field, I do want a little bit of attitude. I do want a little bit of bravado.
Yeah, I think this is held over. And during the playoffs when the Bills lost, Stephon Diggs very unhappy with, I guess, his share of the touches down the stretch of that postseason game. And then you look at what happened during OTAs, where he has an unexcused absence. And Sean McDermott, head coach of the Buffalo Bills, came to the press conference and said, I'm really concerned that he's not here. And then Josh Allen, he had to come out multiple times and say, oh, I love Steph. I love Steph. He's my best friend. I love Steph so much. I love him. I love him. I love him.
Turns out he just went home sick.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a note from his mom.
Flat tire. Sun was in his eyes. I'm not sure, but he had to go. And I love Steph. I just want everybody to know how much I love Steph. And then this season starts, and it seems like, okay, not off to the best start, but Stephon Diggs was supportive of his football team, of Josh Allen.
He had a nice game.
Yeah,
he had a lot of targets, a lot of catches, a lot of yards.
Said nothing but nice things about the offense and Josh Allen's tough day. And then this comes out. I mean,
and this, Rich, it does not have anything to do with the relationship between Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. This is just Stephon Diggs and who he is.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's exactly well stated. And like Ben
Richard?
said, we just want dogs.
Dogs. Travis.
Dogs.
Rich. You ready for the best minute of audio you've ever heard in your life?
Bring it on.
I can't believe this was 12 years ago.
I can't believe
I feel like this was like yesterday, but this is the
'Cause I
Coastal
listen to it
Carolina
every day.
head coach talking about a situation that happened at his house and how he could apply that to his football team. 12 years ago, still relevant.
Trying to get
Need more dogs.
Rich Travis, I ask you, or I must ask you, does that voice have a mustache?
Oh, there's no question.
His name is David Bennett.
You know what the funny thing about football teams is? You do need a balance.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
He
that's
does have
the
a
ding.
mustache.
Okay, good.
We got it. You do need a balance. You need good teammates, and you need some guys who are going to push the edges and the boundaries of relationships sometimes. Because, look, if there's no conflict in a relationship, like if you meet somebody and you're falling in love with them, but you're like, there's just no fight in her or him. We don't butt heads. We just agree on everything. You'll get bored.
Right.
You'll get bored. You need different personalities to make the whole picture work. You gotta, all the puzzle pieces, when you pour out 1,000-piece puzzle, they got different shapes, but somehow it makes a picture. That is the same as a football team. That's the same as a baseball team, NBA. It doesn't matter what sport, doesn't matter even relationships, just two people. You need to have some jagged edges sometimes to sand them down, because then you have a challenge to work on together, and sometimes just because it makes things more interesting.
A new voice has been added to the turf versus grass argument, and it's a big one. Joe Burrow has spoken publicly and says, I think the last couple of years, studies have come out how much safer grass fields are, so I think that's important. I think the most important thing is having a standard for turf fields, having each turf field across the league have a standard, and all of them are exactly the same. Everywhere you go that has turf, each turf is different. I think having uniformity across the league is necessary.
Now, was that a tweet he wrote?
No, that's from Mike Florio. It was some interview he did or a press conference from today. Mike Florio wrote it in an article.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's let me tell you, the
But when you get quarterbacks behind this message, that's how it changes.
the turf. Well, and here's what happens. Here's what happens. This is how. I mean, this is how all of this stuff works, and you guys know this as well as I do. But for anybody who's less informed, something occurs. It's big enough that it is going to grab the attention of reporters and sports talk show hosts like us. And then the media members who are going in for these daily interviews with these players or these press conferences and media availability of these players, they're going to ask the follow-up questions. You saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers. Any concern over turf versus grass? You saw what happened against the Bills. Aaron Rodgers goes down with the Achilles. Do you like grass surfaces or do you like turf surfaces? Is there anybody out there who likes turf surfaces? Could you answer that question, please? Like, and some players will be, I don't know, they'll just be sort of enigmatic about it. They'll be like, I don't know. Look, we get paid to play. I'm just going to play football. And some have strong opinions.
Mhm.
And like you said, Ben, the stronger or I should say, the bigger the voice and the stronger the opinion, the more chance for a change.
Yeah, I mean, trying to make uniform standards on the turf, I think, is a kind of a dumb argument. I mean, you can have uniform standards on the weather. I mean, that's just part of the game. So it's a different game down in Tampa Bay than it is in New England, not just the turf. I mean, I get the uniform standards as far as we're trying to make this as safe as possible. But if the uniform standard is just, no, it's natural grass. That's it. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of grass it is. It doesn't matter what kind of soil you use underneath it. It's natural grass. That's the standard.
I think Burrow's point is more, Trav, that every stadium that does have turf, it's a little different everywhere. And that's what people have said for years about MetLife. Like, it grabs your cleats a little more than other stadiums do. And so if the standard is you're going to have turf fields in the league because billionaires aren't going to not spend millions of dollars. If you're going to have turf fields in the league, they need to be tested and regulated and all made the same so that you don't have some fields that catch cleats a little more and end up with torn ACLs like Joe Burrow tore his ACL a few years ago.
I get it. I'm just saying, I mean, the turf in Denver is different than the turf in Green Bay.
He's talking about artificial turf.
I'm talking about natural grass as well. I'm saying no matter what you're playing on, it's going to be a little different.
And even if you do have, like, to your point, Travis, even if you do have standards, right? Everybody has to have the same type of turf from the same company. You have to fill it to a certain amount with the same filling. Everything has to be equal and equivalent. Well, an indoor stadium, for example, in Minnesota, if they have turf versus the cold, hard field outdoor turf at MetLife Stadium, I mean, that's an outdoor stadium versus an indoor stadium. And while they're both in cold weather regions during the majority of the football season, the turf is just going to feel very different. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess what it comes down to is if it's all grass, well, then that cures the complaint. But then all of a sudden the NFL will have to deal with, like, you know, people going, this is bad for planet Earth.
There's too much water.
We're wasting water on these 32 NFL stadiums. There's way too much grass. And then you're going to go back and chase your tail. You can't please everyone all the time.
On our White Women Instagram Day, though, I am going to take a hard stance that NFL fields should not be using grass.
Oh, wow.
Just on that day.
Next Friday. Aaron Bauman's texting me White Women Instagram videos. So she's
one of them.
ready to go. She's ready to go.
We need a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to need your help, Aaron. Aaron Bauman from sales. Okay, coming up next, snitches get stitches except in Major League Baseball, and a huge update on Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. You're going to want to hear that's next.
We got our friends from Legoland, John and Christina, joining us next.
This update is presented by the County of San Diego, HHSA. Starting off with the Padres, they take down the Dodgers 6-1 last night. Blake Snell continues to dominate the league as he looks for his second career Cy Young Award. In his last 20 starts, 1.31 ERA, averaging more than 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, making him the first pitcher in Major League Baseball history to do so in a 20-game stretch. NFL Week 2 begins tonight. Vikings heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles now favored by a full 6 points after the line opened at 3.5. This game will be streamed exclusively on Amazon Prime Video starting at 5:15. Also in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers posted to his Instagram yesterday and said, "I shall rise yet again." It would appear that the future Hall of Famer is trying to make a return after missing this season with his torn Achilles. If you haven't gotten your updated COVID vaccination yet, make sure you do it. Getting the COVID vaccine is the safest and most effective way to protect yourself. Visit SanDiegoCounty.gov/coronavirus to schedule an appointment to get your updated COVID vaccine.
It's Big Rich, CD, and Fletch at San Diego Sports 760. It is a big day here in studio because Lego Monsters are taking over the kids' Halloween celebration at Legoland California Resort. The Brick or Treat Monster Party transforms the resort into a fun-filled Halloween escape with tons of candy, not too scary shows, and silly monster Lego characters. This event runs on select days from September 16th through October 29th. All the frighteningly fun festivities are included with general admission. You can book at Legoland.com. We are Legos. We reside in Lego Miniland.
Yeah.
And they're here in studio with us.
Yeah. Legoland, California. Miniland, if you go to the Del Mar racetrack, standing prominently in front of the large, I don't know what you would call it, the vestibule, the mural, something, right next to the track. Big Rich, TV, and Fletch.
Right. Are you supposed to give our location away yet?
I don't think so.
What?
Actually, Nicole and John
That
are
was-
standing
yeah.
by. Christina's on the microphone from Legoland, California. Christina, are they glued in? Are we allowed to talk about their exact location yet?
We have Nicole on it right now,
Okay.
checking in with our master model builders.
Get out there
Because
immediately!
we were going to send listeners there to see if they can just find us.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, the cat's out of the bag.
So if you weren't listening, too bad.
By the way, who would put a cat in a bag?
What?
What a terrible thing.
We
to
need
do.
dogs.
Right.
We need
dogs.
We need dogs.
Not meows.
You said it.
Yeah.
Meow meow. Looking at. We played this clip from a Coastal Carolina coach. He needs dogs. Anyways, the point is, Christina, you're in studio, not for your health. Brick or treat over at Legoland, California. Really big deal for the little ones. I've got an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old that you met when we all went down to Legoland, putting down the Big Rich TD and Fletch mini landers. They had an absolute blast playing with the horse races while we were trying to concentrate on real business.
Yes. Yeah.
At one point, I asked you if you guys could take them and just keep them.
Mhm.
You said no.
It's weird. It's
Which
weird.
is-
I believe we gave them some Lego sets to occupy them for a
Yes.
moment. Yep,
That
they were
did-
fun.
That did last the rest of the day, and then they were back to the up to something season on the other side. So, all right, Brick or Treat, give us the overview. What are we doing at the park?
Yes, well, I think first off, your mini landers are going to have the best view and the best party ever.
We did it.
Because obviously you're in Miniland San Diego, and that is directly across from our monster stage. So they're going to get to enjoy the monster rock off, the all singing, all partying rock concert that our monsters are throwing. They're going to get to experience the Brick or Treat costume contest with Lord Vampire. So they're going to have a front row seat to all of the Brick or Treat fun.
There's a lot of festivities happening here in the next
Yes.
few weeks.
Yeah, my mini lander is having a lot more fun at Legoland than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to him the other day. He's like in the gas lamp, he's going to,
It's heading around.
yeah, he's just like, he's a man about
Cruising around.
town. And I'm, it's just, I don't live that life. I don't.
There's tons to do there. Tons to do.
So Brick or Treat, not only a party, but the kids, do they get to go brick or treating around the park?
That's right. Yes, of course. But we can't have a Halloween celebration without candy. So we have tons of treat trails, including our Wacky Witch Way treat trail with our fun witches, and no better cauldron than a candy cauldron.
Yes.
So they're going to be getting
Yeah.
tons of candy. We have costume contest categories, best monster, best homemade, and
mhm.
best group. So, I mean, your mini landers, I don't know, they may participate in that as well. There's endless possibilities.
Hold on here. If we sewed little costumes, can we put them on our mini landers?
I think our master model builders would prefer to actually build costumes out of brick.
Okay.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was allowed to ask that question.
Send us your request. Let's see. There's
Okay.
endless
I
possibilities.
think we all want to be dogs.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I want to be a dachshund.
Yeah.
We want you to
I'm gonna
extend my
go
torso.
Wiener dog.
That's the same thing.
Oh, that is a dachshund.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna be
that's
the
right.
same
I
thing.
forgot.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
we're all three wiener dog. I honestly forgot. You know what I was thinking when you said that? I was thinking, what's the little terrier dog with that's like half
Boston
shaved?
Terrier.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Christina,
You're
I think
way off base.
the important
Stupid.
question
Damn
here
you.
is:
So dumb.
are our mini landers in a better position than Jeff Allen's?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Cabana.
You know what?
We saw.
There's no bad location in Miniland San
Mhm.
Diego. No matter what, you both have a view. I think Jeff's view is kind of looking out into New York. Who doesn't want to look into the New York skyline?
Yeah.
Jeff is also right above the pool, going.
Yeah, he's got 2 finger guns. Pow. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot. This is you guys brought us a
Yeah,
present.
okay. Yeah, get the present over here, Rich.
We
There's
brought you
there's
a monster
gi-
party in a box.
A gigantic box here. Gigantic box. And while Rich brings the box over, Christina, your name tag made of Legos. One has 3 little blue dots on it. Is that like for like service pins? Like you've done such a great job, you get a bonus blue dot?
No, I just thought they were cute Lego
Oh,
bricks.
okay. All right. The other thing I noticed is there's a little Lego individual above your name tag. Is that you?
That is not me. Her name is Tiger Lady, and
Okay.
she is one of the monsters at our Brick or Treat monster party. We also have a brand new monster. Her name is Spider Lady, and she
Wow.
has a massive web at Legoland that you could build Lego spiders out of and add them into. You're actually doing the bubble wand right now
Oh,
in
the
studio.
bubble-
I love
yeah,
it.
Yeah, the bubble wand has to happen. Are there
Yeah.
batteries already in it? Do we know?
There are.
Okay,
there
good.
are.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Because the bubble wand's happening. Also, I noticed that
Righty tighty, man. Righty tighty.
you might have
Christina,
to-
while these guys
Wow.
figure this out, could you tell like
Okay,
some of the
bubble
most
one's
exciting
coming.
things about Brick or Treat and what like I would bring my nieces to?
Yes. I'll first say Brick or Treat is a not so scary Halloween celebration and perfect for families with kids ages 2 to 12 because we have endless amount of shows and costume contests and opportunities to really dance it out and celebrate this season with your family and not go into it feeling like, oh, am I going to be too spooked or is this too scary for my little ones? It's the perfect celebration for Halloween. We have can't miss shows like our Monster Rock Off. We have different shows throughout the resort and character entertainers that'll come out as well with a monster checkpoint. So they'll make sure everyone at the resort is an actual monster. It's kind of like our own, security within the park, but more of like a fun security moment.
Is anything going to attack me when I open this box from Lego?
We are not so scary. There is nothing that will scare
Oh,
you. Just
come
a
on.
party.
Okay. All right. Here we go. You're gonna open the box. The tape is off. The box is opening up.
Oh my
Oh my God. Oh yeah.
It's the best day ever. Oh wait, you brought a lot of candy.
What? Oh my gosh, it's full of candy.
Dude, look at this.
Oh,
Those
it
are
is
some
a
of our
party.
monster skeleton
Brick
marshmallow
bites.
treats.
They're gummy worms. Oh my
This is the
God.
best day ever.
There's so
Yes.
much. There's so much. What is? Wow.
So how
Actual-
Rich and Travis are
some
acting right now is how
Legos?
your children will
Yeah.
act when they get to Legoland and see all the
Dude,
candy
okay.
and the toys and the
Alright.
different shows.
This
It's gonna
is
be awesome.
okay. Hang on. Hang on. Can you guys come back every day?
Yeah. Hold
Sign
on.
me up. This is a party over here.
There's,
I love
hang
it.
Hang on. We I think you broke the bubble wand, so we're just gonna hold the bubbles at the bottom. It's fine. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
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 Hang
Oh
on.
wait. Oh, there's another bubble. There's multiple bubble wands. Here we go. We can just hold it together. I
This
think.
is why we don't give Rich
Yeah,
nice things.
Wait. Okay. Hold on, what did I do?
No, now you broke it. Oh, well, I'm gonna hold it because you broke it. Yeah, look at him.
I don't know what's. It's lighting.
Oh,
we got bubbles.
Hang on. Hang on. This is the best. Okay.
All right. Look at that. It's happening.
Okay.
Where's John Rigg?
Okay. Yeah. We need to talk to engineering. All right.
right.
So again, Lego Monsters are taking over the kids' Halloween celebration at Legoland California Resort. The Brick or Treat Monster Party transforms the resort into a fun-filled Halloween escape with tons of candy. Not easy to read this with bubbles in front of my thing. Not too scary new shows and silly monster Lego characters. This event runs on select days from September 16th through October 29th. And all frighteningly fun festivities are included with the general admission. Book at legoland.com. John, Nicole, Christina, on behalf of the show, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
What?
you guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys
What a
so much.
pleasure.
We're
Yes.
excited to see you at the monster party.
Okay.
Hey, Christina,
We'll be there.
would you like to pick a caller number? Because we got a 4-pack of tickets to Legoland Brick or Treat to give away to our listeners.
Done.
12.
12.
Caller number 12.
Get busy, Ben. 844-570-1360 is going to be answering the phones for the next half hour. 844-570-1360. You got to cull through over. You should have given him like 160
Yeah.
seconds.
12 is good.
767. Are you sure you want to change to 760? We'll stick with 12.
12 caller wins Legoland tickets. Thank you guys again.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, we'll get to this MLB story. Snitches get stitches except in baseball. We'll explain next. Is Alex Rodriguez again the most hated man in baseball? We'll discuss next. Still searching for them dogs as Travis is dancing his way back to the microphone. Boy, that was a fun visit with Legoland, man. John and Christina and Nicole came in studio. Our Minilanders will be glued down soon in Miniland San Diego at Legoland, California. And Brick or Treat is going to be an awesome thing to bring your kids to. Okay.
Can I just point out real quick? I feel like we came up with the idea for the Minilanders, first of all. And second, I feel like we came up with the idea for costumes on the Minilanders. So,
yeah,
you know, cutting edge.
Just a little more credit, if we could, please.
I think Christina would give us the credit.
I think she would, honestly.
Yeah.
And I sort of feel like there's a kinship now built between us and Legoland.
Mhm.
Special things may be coming in the future for our listeners. Which listener won the 4-pack of tickets to Legoland just now?
Jeremy
There you
Jeremy
go.
from the 913?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey,
Oh,
right
wow.
on, right
Yeah,
on.
yeah. One of our most famous texters is Jeremy from the 913. Actually, I ran into him at Legoland. When we went out there to get presented with our Minilanders, Jeremy was out there with his two boys. I believe they're Luke and Nick.
Just reminded me,
That's their name?
I have not looked at the text line the entire day. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a little bit of a mistake. Sorry about that. So A-Rod apparently was dishing on all of his friends in Major League Baseball who are doing steroids.
Whoops.
Yeah. Okay, so the former MLB superstar told federal agents back in 2014 that the Biogenesis founder, Anthony Bosch, told him that fellow talents such as Manny Ramirez, Ryan Braun, and other all-star players, and one other all-star player, were using steroids, according to DEA documents obtained by ESPN. So,
What is it with major league athletes named A-Rod being douchebags?
Well, who else?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
He's no longer a douchebag.
I think he is.
He's now a nice guy.
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that further entrenched my stance.
What about this one? Sorry, kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
That also further. No, that was.
No, that was
Come
that was a
on!
I
beautiful
shall
moment.
rise yet again.
You know what? Here,
because the night is darkest before the dawn.
I play the mustache clip. Harvey Dent.
Oh yeah.
Hang on. This-
Rodriguez gave names to the DEA agents on January 29th of 2014 when he met with 2 assistant attorneys from the U.S. Department of Justice, 7 Drug Enforcement Administration agents. The meeting came weeks after he was busted with a 211-game suspension for violating the PED policy of Major League Baseball. Rodriguez was banned for the entirety of the 2014 campaign. So I'm guessing DEA came to him and said, you either give us honesty and give up names, or we're going to federally prosecute you for illicit activities.
Why is the DEA getting involved?
Well, it's illegal.
They're illegal drugs that they're taking?
Oh, dude, 100%.
Yes.
Steroids are...
So
well,
think
it
of it
depends
this.
on steroid.
Well, anabolic steroids without prescriptions are 100% illegal in this
So
country.
how are bodybuilders all doing it?
They are breaking the law.
That is correct. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
not
So when
there's
we were
not a million billion eyeballs on them.
When we were talking about me getting on steroids, which I'm still down to do, we would have been breaking laws
100%, and we were willing to have you do that.
Yeah, that's correct.
HGH is illegal.
100% illegal. In fact, it's rarely, so it's only given out for rare pituitary gland issues where like dwarfism comes from, and then they treat you with HGH. It's usually given to children or really extremely old people to treat certain things.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
But
he's like, son of a gun. Oh, I'll cancel my order.
In the U.S., it's illegal to possess or distribute HGH for any purpose other than uses approved by the FDA and prescribed by a physician.
Such as ringworm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Got a
HGH.
bad
Wasn't that
case of ringworm.
Clestabol?
Yeah.
Right. Which
Yeah.
also doesn't fix ringworm.
What here's a new game of is this Aaron Rodgers or is this Harvey Dent?
We've been happy to let the Batman clean up our streets for us until now.
Things are worse than ever.
Yes, they are. But the night is darkest just before the dawn. And I promise you, the dawn is coming.
Yeah, that was actually Aaron Rodgers from its Instagram post.
I shall rise again, majestic, riding upon a white steed named Jet.
Harvey Dent, named in real life Aaron Eckhart.
No kidding.
Wow.
And it all comes full circle.
Wow. I was wine tasting up in Temecula, and I had to meet with the, I guess, manager at one of these wineries. And I had a business card, and it was Aaron whatever, clearly spelled the female version of Aaron. And I walked up and shook hands with the guy, and I said, "Hey, are you Aaron?" And he's like, "No, I'm not."
Well, I'm drunk, and I'm Travis.
Yeah, it was kind of that. It was kind of that. Also, the texters were weighing in. They were playing what's in the box as we were opening up the box.
That's actually pretty smart. Yeah.
Gosh, we should have played the game.
That was a lot of fun.
Wow. We're already out of time.
That was our show. All right.
We have a minute, which is when I start the music every day.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
It
gotcha.
just, we're sort of
Well, yeah, we were just
had a lot
rolling.
more to say.
There's so much candy here.
Thank you, Christina and John from Legoland. Thank you, Jeff Allen, for bringing them all in and talking about Brick or Treat. Go get your tickets. Also, thank you, Jack Cronin, best voice in San Diego radio, easily, for jumping on the show at 7:45. If you missed any of the show, free iHeartRadio app. Just type in Big Rich, TD, and Fletch. You can catch the replay on YouTube at Big Rich, TD, Fletch, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Big Rich, TD, Fletch.
That's right. Blood Drive here at the studio tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., 9660 Granite Ridge Drive. Come down. Just one donation can help 3 people. Make sure you're here.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right. Get over and do that tomorrow. Listen to The Herd. It's coming up next. We'll see you on a Bar Car Friday, brought to you by Keg and Bottle tomorrow.